Since 2018, the Lindale Football Eagles have graced their school and community with 4 straight visits to the postseason, which includes their first ever trip to the 4A state championship game in Arlington just 2 years ago, averaging almost 10 wins a year in the same span. This year's Eagles are riding behind one of the most experienced and strongest offensive lines in the state, expecting to protect one of the deepest collection of running backs in District 9 4A, along with a heavy dose of defensive weapons and D-line play stoppers. From a year ago, the 2022 Lindale Eagles have loaded themselves with high expectations and a will to attack each week head-on. OnTheCall.net presents the 2022 Lindale Eagles and District 9 4A High School Football. Tonight's game broadcast is made possible by the generosity and outstanding community support from Alford's Tire, Brake, and Alignment. For tires, brakes, alignment, and accessories, don't put your safety at risk. Beeler Roofing, residential and commercial roofing and repairs for over 40 years. Office Barn, celebrating 22 years as East Texas' only new and used office furniture superstore. Marucci Elite East Texas, coaching up thousands of baseball and softball athletes of all ages to the next level. Frieden Enterprises and Ironworks Freelance Web Design, making it simple for customers to know you. Rose City Air, honestly educating their customers on the most efficient way to maintain their HVAC systems. Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, serving the highest quality barbecue with backyard hospitality. Come for the food, stay for the experience. Eagle Chiropractic, Dr. Shane Allen, making you stronger every day by adding years to life and life to years. Doc Deason, Real Edge Real Estate, creating new home dreams for families for over 17 years. And Root Construction, providing custom construction solutions through integrity-based principles and follow-through. Let's head down to the Root Construction press box for tonight's broadcast with Kenny Smith, Coach Alan Phillips, and Stuart Campion.
Well, it's a much different scene setter for tonight than it was a week ago. If everybody remembers, in Kaufman last Friday night, we were set up in the bleachers. There was some cloud cover, a little bit of rain here and there, and it ended in a 24-17 loss for the Lindale Eagles. They are back home, though, to kick off the 2022 campaign with their home opener as they are hosting the Pine Tree Pirates tonight on senior night. Welcome to Eagle Stadium, everybody, and looking forward to a broadcast that we're high above the field this time. Gorgeous weather conditions. The cloud kind of cleared out a bit. The wind is at a minimum right now, and seniors are getting introduced as we speak at this moment. We'll come back. We're going to talk to Coach Chris Cochran coming up next. He'll break down not only the game tonight, but what is ahead for him injury-wise. The bug hit again this week. We'll talk about the breakdown of the game coming up next.
Alford's Tire, Brake, and Alignment is going all in with the 2022 Lindale Eagles. Safety first is not only common sense when it comes to your transportation, it should be the top priority anytime it comes to the overall protection of your family. Safety checks on your basic brake and tire conditions or need for maintenance on your AC system is paramount during the heat of a 2022 summer. Alford's Tire, Brake, and Alignment puts the entire family name behind making sure you stay stress-free on the road year-round. You'll find tire replacements for all size tires, even lawn mowers. Lift kits and auto accessories are installed right there, and in some cases, while you wait. Alford's Tire, Brake, and Alignment, Highway 69, 4 miles south of I-20 in Tyler. AlfordsBrakeandAlignment.com.
Well, we get week 1 in the books, Chris, and we move on to game 2. You got senior night going on tonight. We've got to at least touch on last week versus Kaufman, but obviously the important thing is starting week 2, you're back at home. It's a little more comfortable and everything, but you guys you didn't start the week off very comfortable at all. First of all, let's get an update on, of course, Jake Curbo and see about the progress of Casey Poe, but let's go over your injury report first. It's the most boring and worst way to start off a conversation, but it's significant for you right now.
Jake Curbo will be out tonight. Pretty significant case of pneumonia on Saturday morning, early, right after the game. Didn't feel bad on Friday night, but it just popped up. And so he was out this week, and we're hoping to get him back next week. We'll see how his progress is. But through this weekend, got Nashad Lee out, who has a fracture in his foot, trying to, Casey Poe will be a game time decision. That'll be, we'll see how that goes. But he has made tremendous progress. Seth Baggett, he's doing much better. That was a pretty significant case of tendonitis, patellar tendonitis. Good bit of rest this week for Seth, but he's kicking it better and feels better, so we're glad to have him back. So it's a challenge. It always is early on in the year. The way we view it as a staff, we would rather go through it right now than, say week 8, so we feel like that's what we're going to do, and we're going to get these guys back. All together at some point. But right now it's about, putting one foot in front of the other and going back to work. And the next guy has to step up, and that's what our kids do is they step up, So I'm excited about these guys who are getting to play tonight, that wouldn't normally. It's a challenge for them, but it's an opportunity. When we have challenges, it's a huge opportunity for growth, and so I'm excited to watch them compete.
Okay, well, that is 2 pretty big, heavy hits, too, when you've got Kerbo out and that depth at that running back position. Talk about some of the guys you had to bring up, the additions to your roster that we're going to see tonight.
Yeah, so Coulter Maya obviously has been with us this whole time in fall camp. He'll have more of a role tonight just because of Nashad not being around, but he'll have more carries. I'm sure Clint will probably carry the ball more, which we view that as we wanted to do that anyway. That's Clint's game. That's who he is. He ran for 100 yards last week. But he's going to help shoulder load, and then Devin Daniels will be up as well. And, Devin actually had a really good night last week against Kaufman on Thursday night. Had about a 50-yard touchdown run, kind of tight-roped the sideline, ran through a couple tackles, and scored. So he's a good young back. This is going to be a good experience for him. He's doing some good stuff for us. Worked really hard this summer, showed up, to the majority of the workouts. When I say majority, I'm talking like 24 out of 28, something like that, So really good young man, and he's going to run the ball hard behind a good offensive line. And then we also moved up Cade Hottie. With Kerbo being out, his backup at linebacker is Nashad. So we're down 2 at the middle linebacker, what we call the jack linebacker. And so we moved Cade Hottie up. Cade's a junior. He was actually on the sideline last Friday night because he was our scout team player of the week. And loves Lindale football, loves his teammates, will do anything that we ask of him. And he always has a smile on his face. He's tough. He fights through stuff. That's who I know that he is, So he's going to be fine. He's going to step in and play linebacker. He's also going to deep snap for us. He's a really good deep snapper. So he's going to fill several roles. He'll be on special teams. I think he's on our he's on our kickoff team. Both of those guys, Cade and Devin, they'll help us on special teams. That's good. We need to find depth however we can, and those guys that come up from the JV always help with that.
Okay, does this also maybe accentuate the philosophy that you talked about last week about having some of your best athletes? You're almost pushed into that situation where you may have to ask guys to play both sides of the ball, or just maybe go do some cover 2 or cover 3 stuff on defense just because you need the athletes back there.
Yeah, so that's a great question. We've said that statement has been made multiple times this past week. Man, Coach, I'm sure glad that we're doing things the way that we, the way that we decided to way, back in probably February. It was just a decision that we made, and it turned out to be the right decision, and I felt in my heart the whole time that it was. I didn't really know why, and I think there's multiple levels to that. But right now, it's just having varsity football players play a role, and switch over and get on that other side. For example, Kason Watts will be a guy that will play much more linebacker, more so than he does tight end. He will still play tight end tonight, but he'll play more linebacker. He has to. Yeah. And so he's always been one of our best linebackers anyway, but he's a primary tight end. So tonight he'll be basically we'll call him a primary linebacker. Landon Sullivan allows us to do that. Him being a tight end, played really well last week, did a good job, graded out well. And so we have full trust in Landon to kind of step into that starting tight end role, and just so we don't get Kason, too gassed.
Sure.
So, we do our two tight end stuff. That'll be Landon. That'll be Kason, in there together. And then if for some reason one of them, something happens, Carson Plunkett will be the next guy who's worked some tight end throughout the spring and summer. So we're okay. We just aren't very, we're pretty thin right now, but we're okay. Guys have great attitudes, and as we all know, they're going to go compete their tails off.
Okay, well, pretty productive film work this past week because Van and Pine Tree played a week ago. You got Pine Tree tonight, Van next week. But what do you see in what Pine Tree brings to the table tonight?
Yeah, athleticism. What jumps out at me, really being a defensive guy, watch more of their offense. I always do, but their receivers, number 1, number 5, man, they can run. I mean, they can get it done. One was had some success against us last year, so we've got our hands full with him. He's a Division I receiver, and then the quarterback is a pretty speedy young man as well. They don't do as much quarterback run game with him as of yet, but we're expecting maybe that might come out tonight. We know that he scrambles well, and when he gets out in the open, he can go. So I think they like him. You can tell that they have a lot of faith in the job he's going to do. And then Dalen Evans, I've got to bring his name up. Just he's an A&M commit. So plays both sides of the ball more offensively than he does defensively, in like a fullback tight end position, kind of like what Kason Watts would play. But he also he'll flip over there and play defensive line, and he is very effective, and wreaks havoc. So we got our hands full with him. He's a big body, very athletic body. And they're a well-coached football team. We don't play anybody that's in, especially non-district. You want to play well-coached football teams. So Coach Bachman and his staff do a really good job. We got a lot of respect for them, and just the way that they, handle kids, the way they treat kids, and the way they put a team on the field, they do a good job.
Okay. Well, being senior night tonight, too, and I mentioned it to you before we started this talk, that I thought it seemed like there was going to be less seniors this year than last. I think I was looking at significance of contributions to the football program last year because you lost so many big-time names a year ago. But seniors, just because we have this senior night thing, anybody you've seen for 3 years or more that'll be walking as a senior tonight that kind of had one of those effects on you the last 3 years. You've seen their progression from maybe freshman to JV to varsity, that you kind of hold maybe a little, or maybe part of the coaching staff has a little extra pride in seeing that these guys are still playing football.
That's a great question. I don't know how we might be here for the next 10 minutes. Because they're all special to me. They really are. And just the fact of watching, like you just said, watching them progress and grow up and mature. The first one comes to mind is Brett Maya. Obviously, he's one that played for us as a sophomore, but he's really grown up as a young man. He's much, I would say, I see the way he's respected by his teammates now compared to even a year ago. that has changed so much, and not even like I'm talking about since probably April that has changed. And the dude just loves his teammates. Like he loves his coaches. There's not a time. I mean, he's going to tell whoever's around him, "Hey, I love you, man." You know, like he wants people to know that. You know, I think of Levi. You know, Levi Thornton. I was his position coach as a sophomore. He was just a little sophomore, you know, trying to hang on to whatever Eric Williams told him, you know, and you know, right now he's struggling with this knee injury, you know, and I feel for him, you know, tonight because he wants to play. We're letting him dress just so he can, you know, dress out and walk out of that tunnel with his parents, you know. You know, obviously Trey and Will, I'm really coming up with guys who are all sophomores at, you know, on that 2020 team. But man, they've had an impact on me. You know, they really have. Just the young men that they are, and the impact that they have on our hallways in the school. Man, they're so well respected. Ethan Moriarty, he's one, like, to answer your question, he would be one that when that young man moved here, I think the spring of his freshman year, or maybe when his sophomore year started, moved in from Illinois, and you know, we didn't know what he was how he was gonna end up, and I think the sky is the limit. I don't think that I've seen that dude practice this week with a motor that he never has before. Wow. So, like, great things are coming for Ethan. You know, I just believe that, and so that would be probably the answer that you're looking for after me going through about 5 or 6 others. But, yeah, just really proud of the group. You know, it's not easy to do what they do. It's not easy to go 4 years and play football, and all the way that we ask them to do it and the time that we ask them to commit to it. You know, I want them to know, and their parents to know how special they are to me and my family and our coaching staff.
Well, I think, too, I mean, that's the intangible, though, that the strong coaching staff and you as a head coach, all the way up to administrators that contribute to the football program, this is the intangible you want to see as a culture in your football program, is take some guys that maybe you didn't see a lot in, freshman, sophomore, they progress, and now they're leaders without, you know, just like you talked about Brett and Levi, you know, and the respect they build up to. That's what you guys are trying to do the whole time, man, and you're pretty good at it.
Well, I appreciate that. It is, I tell everybody, the best part of my job, the best part of our coaches, like anytime I'm interviewing a coach, I want them to know the best part about this place. And there's a lot of good. We all know that in Lindale ISD, but I love our kids. I just think that they're a special group and very resilient, you know. They do whatever you ask them. They have such great manners, you know. So they represent, those 19 have represented our program very well. So I'm proud to say I'm their coach.
Amen. Good luck tonight, bud. We're looking forward to it.
Appreciate it.
You betcha. Coach Chris Cochran. We'll talk to Alan Phillips. We'll start breaking down the contest tonight. Pregame continues coming next with OnTheCall.net.
You know that old saying that a man's number one job is to protect his family? Well, that's exactly what my dad had in mind when he founded Beeler Roofing in the late 1970s. Well, now it's 2022, and it's still the backbone of why Beeler Roofing continues to take care of families and businesses, new roofs, full roof replacements, and even simple roof repairs. We still welcome a good old personal phone call to set up a free roof assessment, and we take a lot of pride and enjoyment from making our customers feel better about being home. Plus, we can even help you navigate the insurance process. This is Brooks Beeler, Lindale class 1989, and very proud to support your Lindale Eagles again this year. Find us on the web at BeelerRoofing.com or call us at 903-347-8484. Beeler Roofing, our family protecting your family from the top down for over 40 years.
And he's been doing that for a heck of a lot of people over the last 40 years as well. Brooks Beeler, one of our fantastic sponsors, and jumping on for the third straight year. He is incredibly committed to the Lindale community and also the Lindale Eagle football program as well. How's everybody doing? It's Kenny Smith, Coach Alan Phillips, and Stuart Campion hanging out in the press box right now as we're so darn worked up the fact that we have indoor facilities. We got a bathroom behind us. We got free drinks and water and Cokes and whatever we want outside there. We're inside. We have no rain to worry about right now. How do y'all feel about it?
This place is nice. This is the first time I've ever been in here, and I didn't know there was multiple levels, but the level we're on is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Stuart, this is your first inside game since what, the Mariners or the Seahawks or something?
Mariners, Seahawks are outside all the time anyway. I'm just looking forward to the food right now.
Yeah.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
Bring the food on.
Yeah, we got chicken pasta at halftime, and, Stuart's got fish.
We got to watch his heart, you know. We can't.
Yeah.
He's the old man of the group.
Yeah, Stuart's got fish.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we got great conditions for high school football tonight. Now, it's game 2, though. It's week 1 from high school football. They worked out week 0 years and years ago with bye weeks. This will be the first season. I don't remember a season when Lindale has had 10 straight weeks of high school football, but this is the year they've had 10 straight, no bye week until the very end of the season. Alan, you've been doing this a long time. Is there an advantage, a disadvantage, other than the thing where you get to scout your playoff team at the end, of course, but there's pluses and minuses to playing 10 straight.
Yeah, you know, you don't want that off week early. You want to have it. A lot of people like to have it right before their first district game, because that gives them 2 weeks to get ready for that first district game. And then other ones like to have it at the end of the year, much like Lindale has, so that if they have some injuries, they're able to overcome those and get ready for their playoff game. Now, Lindale probably wishes they had it right now with some of the injuries they have.
Yeah, well, that's got to be our number one topic of discussion right now, because the Eagles had to battle this a little bit a week ago. Obviously, with the absence of part of their massive offensive line, and now with the absence of Jake Kerbo and the absence of Nashad Lee, let's talk a little bit about what you would do and what you think they're going to be planning on trying to do to maybe somehow remedy the loss of some of their key players right now.
Well, I was talking to Coach Rozelle about his linebackers, because, you know, you're looking at Jake Kerbo, who is the starting middle linebacker, and then Nashad Lee is his backup. And so he and I got to talking, and as a coach, a lot of times, and with me being a linebacker coach also, back when I did it, you have to shuffle those guys around. Whoever was at the Sam linebacker, you got to move to the middle linebacker, and the Will linebacker becomes the Sam linebacker. You bring another guy in, you know. And they brought in Cade Hottie to try to help out with that off the JV. So he told me that if I look over there once in a while, he might have 2 guys by the shoulders going, "You 2 guys go in." So I've been there, and it's a tough thing, Kenny, because you just got to find a way to make it work. And I'm gonna tell you what, I've been really impressed with the coaches here. You know, I didn't know any of these guys till you and talk to Coach Rozelle. I'm telling you what, he's going to make the changes that need to be to make that team solid.
Yeah, and that other thing, and to go back to your point of Hottie is also going to have to cover Jake Kerbo as a deep snapper as well, and they both worked on this a week ago also. But not only does he have his linebacking chores to take care of, he's also got to take care of the deep snapping chores, which Kerbo is pretty darn good at.
Well, let me tell you something. That deep snapper is very, very important. A lot of people don't understand that. You know, the kicking game is just as important as offense and defense. And that snapper, especially on a punt, he can end the game for you real quick if he gets that snap over the head of the punter. So it's very important. And they brought him up to play on a varsity level as a deep snapper. I'm telling you what, he's going to have some butterflies.
All right. Well, the things we saw that were obvious a week ago, the struggles of Clint Thurman, who had a spectacular year last year coming up from the JV. He struggled back there trying to find open receivers, overthrew some receivers, had receivers drop footballs. But he made up for it, obviously, with his strength right now, which is his legs. He ran for 110 yards a week ago, and he's worked out a lot more. Chris said that they have worked out as far as giving him more reps, throwing the football, his receivers running routes. They're excited about what's going to transpire after the week of practice, but obviously the things they have to improve on from last week.
Well, yes, and also with the injuries they have at running back, you know, you got to think they might be trying to throw the ball a little bit more, you know. But I'm going to tell you, you know, this is an receiver. That quarterback and those receivers got to be on the same page on their routes and their timing routes and stuff. And I'm sure Coach Cochran worked on that a lot this week, because that was what hurt them last week. They just weren't on sync. And there were some drop balls, like you said, that hurt them. But I really think that they're going to get that taken care of tonight.
Okay, defensively, and the thing that you concentrate mostly on during the ball game too, the absence of Kerbo obviously is, but Ryan Stanton made some plays, and we saw a lot of defenders step up and make plays. Carson Plunkett had a pretty darn good outing a week ago too. but now they've got to step up a little bit more defensively. What did you like what you saw last week? Time and time again throughout the progression of the game. They faltered a little bit down at the end, but some of the things you enjoyed watching.
Well, in talking to Coach Rozelle again, he told me that they're in a new defense. It's a 3-3 stack, basically, and it's a different type of defense. You got, and when we talk about fits, we're talking about there's a gap between the center and the guard, and somebody has to be in that gap on a run. And so it takes, and somebody's got to be beside B gap and D gap.
Sure.
And so they've got to be able to cover those. And last week, early on, they struggled with that. But as the game went on, I thought they did a really good job of making some adjustments to get that taken care of. You still have Christian King at defensive line. He had 6 tackles last week. You had Carson Plunkett, who had 6 tackles. Wyatt Parker had 7 tackles. So they was spread out. It wasn't one guy making all the tackles. And that's good for a defense. That's what you want. Now, one of the things I think that we saw that they don't want is that secondary making so many tackles. You really don't want them to make that many tackles unless they're down on a B line to make a tackle. But again, I thought going into the later part of the game, they did a great job. And if it wasn't for a few plays where, a 3rd and long and Kaufman, got the 3rd and long, that game was going to go the other way because I thought that the momentum was on Lindale's side. It's just they had a few things go wrong at the end.
Well, a couple of things you are going to notice throughout the broadcast tonight, a couple of the changes, as Alan just mentioned, Cade Hottie being brought up to not only play defense, but deep snapper with the absence of Jake Kerbel, and God bless his heart, we hope Jake gets back to 100%. Jake had a bout of pneumonia following the game on Friday and really battled his way through that on all last week.
Yeah, Rozelle said that he knew something was not wrong. There was something wrong because he just didn't play. He played well, but not what he thought he was. And he said, kid couldn't breathe at the end of the game.
Yeah.
He couldn't breathe.
Yeah, he was in bad shape the early portions of the week. Has come back gradually throughout the week. But it will be amazing if we see this kid even dressed, even wearing a uniform number tonight. Well, normally it is tradition for us to listen and to the wonderful sound and the rhythm of the Lindale High School band, the marching band, which goes back to Doc Deason days from years ago when we play the national anthem. Well, there's nothing like it. And mentioning the class of 91 with Doc Deason, 92, whenever it was, that kid, I still look at him as a kid, was part of the marching band as well. Doc, one of our wonderful sponsors and backers of the Blue. As we say, welcome back, Eagle Stadium. Kenny Smith, Coach Alan Phillips, Stuart Campion will be bringing you the action tonight, all night long, of course. And looking at some of the changes, obviously, Chris Cochran in his 6th year, 38-23 overall. He's 7-5 a year ago. 2nd and 9 4A right behind Kilgore, by district champs after the win over Lumberton last year. Pine Tree and first-year head coach Jason Bachman. Now, he's not an unfamiliar name. Jason's been on this staff for a long time, and offensive coordinator as well as wide receivers coach for the last 4 years, and got appointed the head coaching job after the absence of Kerry Lane just last year. So Jason is looking for his first win of the season as well. Pine Tree losing to Van last week by a score 28-14. Of course, Lindale dropping that contest to Kaufman by a 24-17 score. They've done the coin toss out on the field. The referee will back up to Pine Tree and say they will receive the football, and they're going to be defending the west end zone. Lindale will be going right to left. Last week, Pine Tree losing to Van. They are 0-1. Lindale coming in at 0-1 as well. Thurman, only 5 of 19, 49 yards a week ago, but he threw a touchdown along with an interception as well. On the ground, though, 17 carries, 110 yards, and we're expecting him with the loss of a lot of running backs and hitting the depth chart. Coulter Maya will probably get a bulk of the attack along with Clint Thurman as well. They will rely on Marcus Field to get open. 3 catches of Thurman's 5 completions for 30 yards a week ago. Nishad Lee is out with a broken foot. So their number 2 rusher, who became their number 1 rusher with the absence of Patrick Daniels to start the season. Lee, 13 carries, 70 yards a week ago, but will be out for an undetermined amount of time right now with that broken foot he suffered in practice this week. Pine Tree will follow quarterback Cale Skinner. He threw for 119 yards, 6 of 18 passing last week, including a spectacular 70-yard TD pass to Trey Brown. Jonathan Fuller, also his big target, as he hauled in 5 for 49 yards. Lindale's hit the playoffs 4 straight years. Pine Tree, after missing the postseason 15 straight, have been for 3 of the last 5 seasons. So a couple of teams that are going to be working it out tonight in Lindale. Lindale moving right to left, wearing blue tops, blue pants, white numerals in their white helmets. Pine Tree, black pants, yellow tops. Kick is going to be taken at the 12-yard line, and here we go for Friday night football in Lindale. Caught it around the 30-yard line and received on the kick is Trey Brown. Trey will get a lot of touches, and the Lindale Eagles will bring him down back there on the kick return by Cade Hoddy. How about that? You get brought up to varsity and you make a tackle on the kick return.
Yeah, Ryan Stanton also was down there. He's one of the first ones that hit him and held him up.
Well, they're going to start 1st and 10 from the 30. They're going to mark him down officially at the 31. Ball will start at the near hash mark. Cloudy skies. There's a lot of overcast, but absolutely no wind, and Lindale has no small flags at the tip of their goalposts, so we're going to have to trust the American flag, which is barely moving. So wind is not a factor tonight for either team. So here we go, 1st and 10, man in motion, right to left is Dean McMillan. Stringing out is Skinner, and whistle will blow immediately at the snap of the football. We don't see a flag down. Now, the Pine Tree Pirates have yellow shoes. This is going to drive Stewart crazy all night long.
Well, I'm going to tell you something else about Pine Tree. They are huge. I was down on the field with them, and I was looking up the whole time with those guys.
Well, if I remember correctly, last week Kaufman had a 5-yard encroachment penalty or procedure penalty to start their possession. Pine Tree will get charged with a 5-yard mark-off, so Lindale defense will start up on a good note. 1st and 15 now for the Pirates. Left to right, ball near hash. Single receiver right, duels on the left side, split out wide. Skinner snap back, he'll hand off, first man through, is hit immediately at the 25-yard line and driven back all the way to the 20-yard line. Great tackle and pursuit on the inside by Ethan Moriarty.
That's a good example of those fits I was talking about earlier, Kenny. He was able to go from his Sam linebacker and come across the center to make the tackle in that fit across.
Well, making a great play, and boy, that's one thing the Lindale Eagle fan base really, really love is when this defense makes a stop, when they make a tackle behind the line of scrimmage. This is defensive-oriented, crowd-pleasing action with the Lindale Eagles. They absolutely love it. So set up 2nd and 15. Skinner drops back, and he's going to roll left. He's going to run. Rolls up to the 25 to the 30. Got a little running room, and it stopped after a gain of about 6. The Eagle defense will pull him down at the 33, make it the 34-yard line. So it'll be an 8-yard pickup by Skinner.
Yeah, what they had there is they had their Sam linebacker who put the pressure on the quarterback. He turned up underneath there, and Ryan Stanton has been moved to that middle linebacker spot that was vacated by injuries, and he did a good job of coming over there to make but he was looking for receivers also.
Well, they set him up 3rd and still a long 8, make that 6. 7 yards. 3rd and 7 officially. 10:23 initial drive for the Pine Tree Pirates. Lindale on defense. High snap, handoff, first man through and tackled in the backfield. 2-yard loss. Again, the Lindale defense steps up this time on 3rd and long. And we'll see who had the carry.
Casey Watts was up in there making the tackle that time for Lindale. Did a great job filling his gap, making the tackle. There was a whole bunch of those Lindale Eagles there, though.
All right, Jalen Robinson will make the carry, but he gets nowhere. Lindale defense steps up, and they will get the football back. Dropping back to receive the punt will be Christian Weidman. Weidman, a 5'9" senior. And standing back to take his first punt of the season at his own 30-yard line. Snap is way high. Pine Tree punter has to pull it down, and it hits at the 42-yard line. Will roll out of bounds. No, it'll stay in bounds and roll all the way back to the 22-yard line. Weidman will go ahead and pick it up so it doesn't roll any further. So somehow Pine Tree gets away with a spectacular punt after a snap that almost went over the punter's head.
Yeah, and it wasn't a very high punt. It was like low and a low knuckleball that made the
little end over end job.
Yeah. I was surprised he picked that thing up, though.
Yeah.
As a coach, you're going, whoa, stay away from that ball there.
Well, we saw Brett Maya do it last week late, but that was inside the 10, and obviously it was obvious it was going to roll inside the 5 had he not picked it up. Christian Weidman may have thought the same thing. So getting the start tonight, Coulter Maya will come in at running back along with Clint Thurman. Thurman standing about 5 yards deep in the backfield, puts a man in motion, going right to left. It'll be Sullivan. He sets up tight end right, handoff to Maya. Maya gets a good haul, big run. Maya across the 30 up to the 32. Well, that's what you like to do. We'll start this offense is pick up huge chunks of yardage. Maya does that for 8.
Well, it looks like Pine Tree is running a 4-2-5 defense. On the tackle then was how do you say that? Cabraylon Jackson.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just throw it out there. 2nd and 1.5 from the 32-yard line. Flare out, screen pass to Maya. Maya gets enough for the first down, crosses the 35, and they'll mark him down right there. So Maya gets a little flare out and completion to Maya for good yardage.
Yeah, again, looks like Pine Tree's going to change up their defenses up on the front to try to get the linemen of Lindale. I'm a little confused. Coach Cochran told me that there were multiple fronts up there.
Well, it's a 4-yard reception and a first down for the Eagles. Dual receivers split out wide to the right. That's the wide side of the field. Fake to Maya. And Thurman will keep it straight up the middle. Clint Thurman, I'm telling you, is just deceptively strong. He will duck his head and run into anybody. It doesn't matter how big. He powers his way across the 40 to the 43 for an easy 8.
That's a little read play where he pulled. He just went ahead and pulled it. Number 31, Xavier Tennyson for Pine Tree made that tackle.
Thurman with the quick snap. Going to look right, going to throw left. Complete to Fields. Fields with the completion, crossing midfield into Pine Tree territory. First down, Eagles.
Quick screen out to the left. Earl Williams for Pine Tree makes the tackle. You like those little plays like that where you can throw it. It's almost like a sweep, but he throws the ball.
Marcus Fields with the completion. Boy, he struggled last week. Took him most of the game to make a completion, or Clint to get him on target. Maya, handoff straight up the middle, maybe enough for the first down. He'll fall a yard short up to the 40-yard line, a gain of 9.
Oh, Lindale's pulling off some runs, getting some yardage, and the free safety, Earl Williams, had to come up and make the tackle on that. Once again, we talked about you don't want your safety making all them tackles.
No, especially this early. He's got to come up and make these tackles. His contact's going to wear him out. Trips receivers to the wide side of the field. Now man in motion is Sullivan. Stops behind the right tackle. Handoff Maya again. Huge hole. Maya first down inside the 35 to the 32-yard line. Lindale offensive line has come to play tonight.
You know, I'm really surprised. I knew they were very good offensive line, but I'm telling you, Pine Tree's got some very big kids out there, and Lindale is manhandling them right now.
8-yard pickup for Maya for the first down. Eagles are driving. Marcus Field wearing pink gloves to the far left. Now he'll come in motion across the front. Now darts behind Thurman. Thurman will take it off tackle, cuts up field across the 30, up to the 25, bounces outside. I don't know how this kid bounces off the tackles. They still haven't got him down. They'll give him forward progress to the 27-yard line, so they give him credit for 5 yards. He ran about 20.
Well, he didn't give up on that run. That's the thing we found with him last week. Sometimes he puts that ball in his hands, and he's going to say, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to get that first down, or I'm going to run to get it.
Weidman in the slots. Field split out wide to the left side. Ball far hash mark. Wide side of the field, near side. Faking handoff. Thurman going to go deep to the end zone. Got a man open. Stretching for the touchdown, and just off the fingertips of Weidman in the end zone. Well, he got parallel for that in the slot, and Thurman had him open by about 3 steps. Wow.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, they were in a defense that should not have happened because they had a deep safety that just sort of stalled on the run. He pulled up, Trey Brown pulled up, and he was wide open. Just, again, timing just a little bit. Think how important this is going to be later on.
6:25 to go first quarter. Lindale with their initial possession. Coulter Maya standing behind Thurman. Trips receivers, Sullivan in motion. Will stop behind the right tackle. Now comes back across the left tackle. Handoff to Maya. Got some extra blocks. 25, 20. Cuts upfield. 15 outside. Tripped up at the 15-yard line. Great ankle tackle by Khalil Deckard. And he stops Coulter Maya from scoring. Maya all the way up to the 11-yard line.
Yeah, Decker came in from that safety spot and spied him straight downhill. Wouldn't have been for that, he would have scored.
Well, Maya's going to get a little bit of a rest now, and they'll bring Christian Weidman in, who may set up in the backfield. They may go empty. Maya had a little equipment situation.
It's not empty, though. I mean, it's empty, but that quarterback's like a running back, you know.
Well, Thurman's going to set up dual tight end set, dual receivers to the right. Ball near hash. Thurman about 4 steps behind Trey Maserati, and he'll keep it. Goes off right tackle. Cuts upfield to the 5, inside the 5 to the 4. Well, this is a very impressive opening drive here, Alan, compared to what we saw last week. The offensive line is blowing these yellow jerseys off the scrimmage line.
I wouldn't be too surprised if the old line coach didn't tell him, hey, we're going to have to do a better job than we did last week, and we're really going to have to gel to protect our quarterback and make some big old holes in there for him.
Well, they're checking the sideline for the play. Coulter Maya back on the field, a couple of steps behind Thurman. Strong side to the right. Sullivan comes back left. Handoff Coulter Maya straight up the middle. Touchdown. Coulter Maya gets that touchdown. He deserved a couple of plays ago. Eagles strike first.
He's a big old tall kid.
Yes, he is.
He runs sort of gangly, but I'm telling you what, he churns up some dirt as he goes.
Well, Coulter is running with so much confidence right now, and they're going to go for 2 here.
This is called the swinging gate.
Well, they're going to swing the gate to the left side. Sets a man in motion, going left to right. Snap back to Thurman. Thurman's going to throw it to a wide-open receiver in the end zone. 2-point conversion to Alex Romero is good. 8-0 Lindale Eagles. How about that? 5:05 to go in the first period. The Eagles strike first, and they get the 2-point conversion. Lindale Eagle football continues next with OnTheCall.net.
If you're looking to advance and improve your baseball or softball skills and overall game with the hopes of moving on to the next level, Marucci Elite East Texas is the premier select organization to do just that. Hi folks, I'm Derek Kraft, current minor league pitcher for the New York Yankees and coach for Marucci Elite. Head coaches Mike Holochuk and Jeff Casey take over 35 years of coaching experience to the field each year, showcasing East Texas's finest baseball and softball talent. Marucci Elite East Texas has proven itself to be the best at directly focusing on player development and the recruitment of its athletes. You can follow them anytime and learn more about Marucci Elite East Texas through Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at METXETX. That's METXETX for Marucci Elite East Texas.
By golly, we're just gonna, if we can't figure it out, we're going to make it up, by golly. 5:05 to go. Lindale strikes first with a Coulter Maya touchdown run from 6 yards. Was that 6 yards out, Stuart? 6, 8? What was it?
Yes.
Okay, 6 yards out. 4 yards out. Kickoff is muffed at the 23. The Eagles pick it up. They're returning it to the 10 to the 5. Well, they can't return, I think, a muffed kickoff, so they're going to mark it Lindale football down at the 21-yard line. But unfortunately for Pine Tree, the returner, and still trying to track a number right now, the returner was racing up to grab the kick and just ran out of room. Couldn't keep his balance, muffed it at the 21-yard line. Eagle football, 1st and 10 from the Pine Tree 21.
I don't like that rule. It's called a muff,
No.
and you cannot, advance it at all.
Well, it is a little unusual. It's probably one of those high school rules they probably talk about every year at coach's school. Alan, if they could maybe change it, fix it, whatever.
Kickoff recovered by Lindale at the Pine Tree 21-yard line. Going to be 1st and 10 for the Eagles.
Well, Coulter Maya with a 4-yard run. And they'll get a chance to come back here after being up 8-0. Hand off to Maya. Maya breaking it outside, off tackle. Gets a little bit of running room, but a lot of yellow jerseys on the outside. Great containment for the Pine Tree defense. But Maya still fights his way for a gain of about 3. We'll see where they'll mark it. Make it 5.
I'm going to tell you,
Make it 6.
It's hard to tell with those yellow jerseys with those blue numbers. I guess it's hard to tell the number when they get up. Need them binoculars.
So 2nd down and 5, and handoff will go off right side. And a short gain for Maya. Well, they moved the sticks up just a couple of yards, so Maya will work it up to a 3rd and 2 set up inside the 15 at the 13-yard line right now.
Well, they're in that 4-2-5 set, and one of those linebackers, Jacob Medler, came up to make the tackle.
We'll set up 3rd and short at the 13, and a lot of jumps, free play going to the end zone, and way out of bounds or way outside the reach, but a flag comes down, of course, right at the snap.
You know, when you look at that play, that's a free play for that quarterback, and what he did, that's a design play that when they jump off sides, they're going to throw that pass and do a little fade. Now, what I'm surprised, they didn't call pass interference because he grabbed hold of him. I mean, just grabbed hold of him.
Absolutely. Well, 8-0 Lindale early in this one. 4 minutes. Clock is stopped on the incompletion and the penalty, marking off the 5 yards. So Pine Tree, the second flag for a 10-yard total in this first quarter alone. So 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Tight slot, handoff to Maya. Straight up the middle. Colton Maya, 2-touchdown night. We're not even in the second quarter.
Kenny, I'm going to tell you why that play worked is they were in a 4-2-5, but they brought the outside linebackers up. Their inside linebacker was on a loop stunt. He ran right out of the way where Colton Maya went up in there. Okay, so he ran himself out of the play, and Colton Maya had nothing in front of him but blue end zone.
Well, you got to love it when a guy comes in that takes complete control of that position. Colton Maya has done such right now. Seth Baggett, who was the hero a year ago against Pine Tree, will kick in the extra point. It is a 15-0 lead for the Lindale Eagles. 3:56 to go when we come back. You're listening to Lindale Eagle Football with OnTheCall.net.
Backing the Lindale Football Eagles now as he did back then. Eagle Chiropractic is owned and operated by former Lindale Eagle center, Dr. Shane Allen. A class of 1989 graduate, Dr. Allen is an expert in chiropractic and nutritional health counseling. His expertise in these areas assist him in helping patients reduce and even eliminate migraine headaches, neck pain, back pain, and joint pain of all levels, both acute and chronic. Eagle Chiropractic offers therapeutic exercises, nutritional supplements, and analgesic creams, along with educational consultations and follow-up to assure continued support and confidence in a healthy lifestyle that is pain-free. Eagle Chiropractic, Highway 69 in Lindale, open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Saturdays. Call for an appointment and consultation at 903-881-5172. Eagle Chiropractic, making people better every day.
Well, it's absolutely the way that you want to start a football game when you get a couple of touchdowns back-to-back. Lindale Eagles will kick off at the 8. It'll roll into the end zone, boy, just by a couple of feet, too. So luckily for Seth Baggett, that football went out of the end zone and not out of bounds at the 2-yard line. So a great start for the Lindale Eagles. The thing that looks the most impressive right now, Alan, offensive line, running game.
Oh, yes.
It's kind of hard to argue that.
Oh, yes. You know, and I'm not too sure Pine Tree. I have not seen number 9, Dalen Evans. He's a 6'5", 265 lineman tight end for Pine Tree, and I haven't seen him on the field.
Well, you guys mentioned this before the game started, that we couldn't even find him on the sideline or on the field or his number anywhere. So he may have gotten hurt late this week in practice. We don't know, but it's obviously working to Lindale's advantage. First pass for Skinner. It's complete. 25 outside to the 30. Bouncing outside and now out of bounds and thrusted out of bounds by 3 or 4 blue jerseys is Jonathan Fuller. Fuller with the first completion. This guy is lightning if he gets in the open field. They're very excited about this guy's speed. So one of the things these corners have got to really hopefully have seen on game film from a week ago is this guy can fly.
Yes, and that's one of the things Coach Rozelle said, that he can fly, and that if you give him a step, he will take off and go. That's why when they come up, they've got to make sure that they're steady on their feet.
Well, it was a pickup of 7, a 7-yard completion for Skinner, his first tonight. Man in motion. They're taking the handoff. No, they'll hand off first man through, and not enough for the first down. Defense will stop. We'll see who's got the football when he gets up. Is that 32, Stuart? Looks like Devontae Davis.
Well, that was Carson Plunkett on the tackle. I'm telling you what, right at this moment, Pine Tree is not moving the Lindale defensive front at all. They're closing up that front.
Well, they shut him down with a 1-yard gain, so 3rd and 2 from the 33-yard line. Pine Tree going left to right. Ball on the far hash. Dual receivers split out wide to the right. They got trips receivers now as coming to the right. Breaking it outside, handoff. Trying to string it out. The Lindale defense may have stopped him for no gain. They did. Pulled him down just short of the 35-yard line.
I'm trying to see who that is. It looks like, is that?
Okay, it's going to be Devontae Davis again.
I think on the tackle was, might have been Hudson LeGros. cannot tell if it's 16 or 15 out there. I think I'm going blind, Kenny.
Well, I think well, it may be either one because Wyatt Parker's out there on defense also. Okay, well, there's Wyatt with his back to us now. So they're going to go for it, 4th and 1. So Cale Skinner will set him up. Dual receivers to the left. 4th and a short one at the 34. Handoff going to go straight up the middle. They'll get the first down. As Davis again gets the carry, and he gets the tough yardage. He needed 1. He got 3 up to the 37-yard line. So Pine Tree with their first down at the 159 mark of the first period. Early 15-0 lead. That was behind a Coulter Maya 4-yard touchdown run and then a muffed kick or kickoff return attempt. They muffed the kick return. Lindale recovered at the 21. Coulter Maya went in from 7 yards out after that. So set up with Davis in the backfield. Skinner will set him up 1st and 10 now. Skinner going to look right. Now he's going to have to scramble. He's got to get out of the way. Whirling his way towards the sideline. Will now just throw it out of bounds for incomplete pass. And in pursuit back there again, as we saw last week about 3 times, Ryan Stanton, even though this defense does not have a sack yet this season.
Yeah, that's interesting. But Casey Watts, he turned that quarterback back inside. Casey Watts playing the outside linebacker, what we call a Will or a Sam linebacker. And that enabled Ryan Stanton to move up in there and to give him a lot of pressure, so he just threw it away.
Well, 2nd and 10 on the incompletion. Pine Tree on the far hash. Wide side of the field, they've got 2 receivers. Skinner going to look left. Now he's going to throw right. Coming back near side to Davis. He's got the catch and big yardage. He'll get stopped in the middle of the field by Wyatt Parker and right at the first down marker. That was a 10-yard pickup, but Alan, they may have to measure. Now they're going to move the chains.
That was a screenplay. They just brought, they caught Lindale on the right defense for that because Lindale was bringing one of the linebackers. Let them through. Pine Tree did a little screenplay. Big gainer for him.
Well, Davis has got some like Newhouse hips and thighs on him. So Davis looks like he could be a monster if he gets in the open field and somebody puts a body on him. 45 seconds to go, first quarter, 15-0 lead for the Eagles. Lindale on defense, ball right in the middle of the Eagles in the middle of the field. They're going to throw near side. It'll be caught crossing midfield into Lindale territory, staying on his feet and getting knocked out of bounds. Jonathan Fuller actually got hit out of bounds, and then Fuller started to come back onto the field, and he got a little bit of a chest check by Jonathan Ishmael. I don't think you want to do that.
Michael Shannon's getting a little bit of talking to from the coach because he let that receiver go outside of him, and his job is to make sure everything turns back to the inside.
I was watching that right when you said that, and I was curious if they were talking nice or maybe it was a little butt chewing going on.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, you've done that a few times.
Just a few.
Yeah, and received a few.
Yes.
2nd and 6 now. Inside Lindale territory for the first time tonight. Pine Tree Pirates handoff inside to Davis. Gets a trap, playing a huge hole. 40, 30, 25, 20, and he gets hit down. And a great open field tackle downfield, that time by Ryan Betts. Betts has to pull him down, but after a huge gain, 28 yards, looks like 29 possibly.
They caught Lindale in a stunt with the linebacker. The linebacker went to outside, which left a gap in there for that running back to run up through there.
Well, that was a pretty big hole, too. So the Pine Tree right side of that offensive line came down with some pretty nice blocks. They're going to let this clock roll out in the first quarter. Will come to an end. The Lindale Eagles are leading 15-0. Pine Tree right now with a 1st and 10 from the Lindale 19-yard line. When we come back, Lindale Eagle football continues with OnTheCall.net.
You're listening to the Koi Sessions from Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House.
Hey, Koi, we're going to take our first pass of this.
Hey, this is Coy Malone. I'm going to play you a song. We're going to spin some wax, so just relax. We're going to smoke you some meat so you can eat down here at Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House in Lindale, Texas. Guys, we got a lot of great stuff going on down here, so come down and see us. A lot to see. Facebook, Instagram, check us out. Can't wait to see you. Come for the food. Stay for the experience.
Yeah, that was good. But, sorry. Can you do it again?
I don't know why, but I think just years in radio, I know exactly what was going on there. And they're doing the Brisket Love spot there. It's just kind of fun to listen to and reminisce about how many times that somebody had a great take and you just forgot to record or the tape ran out or something.
You know, I wasn't thinking about that at all. I was thinking how great the brisket was when we ate there.
Well, I know.
I'm telling you, it's awesome.
I know. Yep, and shortly after we got down the table, much like the things that we're having to get used to with Stuart Campion this season, is Alan and I have a long history. Stuart and I have a not as long a history, but we learned that Stuart doesn't do sandwiches. He loves fish. He just doesn't do sandwiches. He's a Seattle guy.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah. Also, Stuart, he didn't have any cobbler that night. He didn't want any cobbler. No cobbler. Yeah, we got a lot of changes for him. Straight drop back, Pine Tree, 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. Now going right to left, scrambling. Skinner's got to throw it out of bounds again. Skinner gets pursued again and throwing it out of bounds, incompletion. Good coverage downfield, obviously, with the D-backs. And looking at Jonathan Fuller over here running single coverage with Alex Romero on the near side, and Alex Romero covered him up that particular play, and Skinner wasn't even rolling to his side. Never saw him.
Locked down. He was locked down on him.
Thank you. I'm trying to figure out the terminology.
That's a good
right
word
there.
for it. Lockdown.
15-0 Eagles. Pine Tree on the march. 2nd and 10 from the 19-yard line of the Eagles. Going right to left, they'll put a man in motion. Davis in the backfield. It's not Davis in the backfield. This will be Jalen Robinson. Robinson gets the carry, and he takes it the full 19 yards for the touchdown.
You know, they put a man in motion and took him away from where the play was going. When he did that, Lindale shifted their defense over, which left a gap over there that he just ran up through.
Well, they had just checked into the football game. Jalen Robinson, who's actually was their starting running back, but he hadn't had a carry. 3rd carry, thank you, Stuart. But it paid off as he went 19 yards for pay dirt. And they'll finally set the football in motion. Snap back, left-footed kicker, and kick is up and good. And we got a number of the kicker that's not on the roster, so we can't give credit. 11:47 to go in the first period, maybe at first half. Let's get there. And we come back. It's a 15-7 lead after the Pine Tree touchdown when we come back. Listen to Lindale Eagle Football at OnTheCall.net.
Hey, Doc Deason here, Lindale class of 1990 with Real Edge Real Estate in Tyler. You can find me online at DocDeasonRealEstate.com. You know, after this summer, anything associated with fall is going to be welcome throughout the season, especially Lindale High School football. It's an honor for me, friend of 30 years, your play-by-play man, Kenny Smith. There's nothing in this country quite like Texas high school football, and you need to know we're partaking in alleged time right now. But when the game's over, if you need some help with real estate, give me a shout. Don't hesitate. 903-262-8680. That's 262-8680. Again, I'm fellow Eagle Doc Deason. Thanks for listening.
Anytime, Doc Deason. We just miss him playing the quads out here. Too bad we can't get a drum corps reunion with any of the Lindale old band members. I think we ought to do that.
He was a drummer?
Yes.
Well, they need to put you and I in that, too, because you and I are drummers.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what, Alan? We're a lot like drum corps guys. Just as talented. Kick is deep and taken 2 yards deep and bringing it out as the Eagles. Coming left, coming right, and nowhere to go. Pine Tree will cover up Brett Maya, who returned it from about 2 yards deep in the end zone and gets it maybe back to we're going to see they'll mark him down at the 13-yard line. Boy, Brett had no room whatsoever.
Yeah, you know, once it's that deep, you really don't like to bring them out. Because when it's that deep, you get your defense, the people who kick off, has a chance to get down the field. And Haven Huey was there to make the tackle for Pine Tree.
Well, the Pirates have picked up a little bit of momentum with that long touchdown drive. 11:41 to go. They cut the Lindale lead to 15-7. Coulter Maya already 8 carries, 61 yards in the first half. Will go along with those 2 touchdowns. He's having a big night already. Dual receivers left and right, ball near hash. Maya goes in motion. Looking right, coming left is Thurman. Thurman actually looked left and came right that time. Completion out of bounds. Okay, is that going to be Moriarty? Okay. It'll be Ethan Moriarty with his first catch, I think, of the season. He gets the completion from Thurman up to 7 yards, up to the 20. So nice first play to get him out of a little bit of a hole. Thurman will now set him up, dual receivers, wide side of the field, far side. Handoff, Coulter Maya. Maya bounces outside. Well, unfortunately, Maya had a ton of blockers in front of him, and all of them were blue jerseys. Maya ended up just running directly into his entire offensive line, but couldn't get around them to pick up the opening yardage. Well, they're going to say he had plenty of forward progress for the first down.
You know, like you said, he had a little opening to the right of him. If he'd cut up into there, he would have had a lot of room to run.
Well, Eagles with 5 first downs in the first quarter. Their first one here in the second. 11:05 to go, 15-7 lead. Sullivan in motion, right to left, stops behind the tackle, extra blocker from Maya. Maya outside to the 30, over to the 30 to the 35-yard line. Till it, Coulter really looks as though, and that was not Coulter Maya either, it looked like Thurman. Thurman kept it.
I'm going to tell you this. Ethan Heller just took a guy back 8 yards. He locked up with him and drove him off the line for about 8 or 9 yards from his offensive line spot.
Okay, well, that was Thurman with the carry. That's a pretty darn good fake there. So Thurman for 10 with the first down. Eagles with back-to-back first down runs. Thurman now will hand off to Maya. Maya, no, he keeps it. He'll throw it. Flares out, complete. Then down the sideline goes Sullivan. And where are they going to mark him out at?
He was tight roping, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. I thought he stepped out around the 45. He takes it all the way across midfield to the 45 of Pine Tree.
One of Lindale's coaches was right there when he turned around when he got the ball.
It's going to be a 20-yard pickup.
Go down the run. Go down. Don't step out of bounds.
Yeah.
That's a little bootleg play. Very good executed. Landon Sullivan.
Landon Sullivan, I think maybe with his first catch, the tight end. Flare out pass is caught by Maya. Maya will get pulled down immediately right at the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit by the Pine Tree defense. Led back there. Looks like Seth McFarland, the first to get in on the tackle.
Seth McFarland, what a name. I'm going to tell you what we're seeing from Lindale, too, is like I said earlier, they're throwing that ball around, but some of those plays like that, it's just like a sweep for a running team.
Can't believe I didn't have him down there, Stuart. My apologies. Incomplete pass. Showing me it's short. It was a completion to Coulter Maya for no gain. So down at the 45-yard line of Pine Tree, second down. Handoff Maya straight at the middle, and he runs into traffic again, but he'll pick up a hard 3 yards.
I don't know if Pine Tree is picking up some clues from the Lindale offense, but what they're doing there, they shifted all to the left, which put them right in the way of Coulter Maya.
Maya picks up 3. Alex Romero was looking whether he was going to stay in for the play. He will jog out now, and Kaysen Watts will set back up as Watts and Sullivan both in basically a slot tight end behind the tackle. Handoff, Maya with a huge hole. Maya picks up the first down and more. Up to right at, well, maybe a first down, maybe a little bit short. They're going to mark him down short of the first down at the 36-yard line.
I will tell you something, Kenny. Pine Tree is playing with fire. They're bringing their linebackers. They're extending their ends out. And the problem with that is sometimes it works and it works big time, but when they don't work, they get a little gap that they can run up and through like Coulter Maya did then.
Well, 4th and a short one, they're going for it. Thurman looking to the sideline, looking to change the play. Barks it out to the line of scrimmage, ball near hash, waiting for the snap, gets it. Maya with the handoff. Breaks it outside 35-30. Up the sideline to the 25-yard line. First down, Eagles, and Maya with another big carry.
Let me ask you something, Kenny. Would you have gone for it? I would have with that offensive line. Lindale
Absolutely. It's an 11-yard pickup from Maya. Another big gainer for Coulter Maya. He's well on his way for at least 100 yards, maybe even in the first half. 8:33 to go, 15-7 lead for the Eagles. That is 4 first downs all on this drive alone.
Look at Clint Thurman directing traffic out there. They brought people in late, and he's directing traffic. Those linemen are making calls and getting ready.
They get everybody set. Sullivan sets up in the slot right. Handoff, first man through. And I think that's going to be 24. It's going to be the new guy on the block. Devin Fields gets his first carry of the night. Devin Fields picks up 3. So Fields, who gets to wear 24. Excuse me. Did I write Devin Daniels on there? That's funny. So Devin Fields, there was contact evidently, and that's exactly why they're going to blow the whistle. Dead contact. Pine Tree jumped off sides. And that's just fine, but if they make contact, they have to blow the whistle. And
that's the second time Clint Thurman has pulled them.
Well, they're going to call it against Lindale. So evidently a blue jersey must have moved a bit. Well, they're marking it off against Pine Tree, but the referee called it procedure against Lindale.
Wait a minute. Here we go.
All right, well, they're not even going to discuss it, but the umpire was marking off 5 against Pine Tree. Evidently pretty sure that it was an encroachment, and the referee said procedure against Lindale, so as he's marking it against Lindale, the umpire's marking it against Pine Tree. That was kind of comical. So the first flag against the Eagles will come in the second period with 7:58 to go. Dual receivers to the left. Thurman, the near hash, takes the snap, looks right. Going to throw right. Caught inside the slot to the 20, to the 15, maybe the 17. Pass caught again by Ethan Moriarty.
They had a little quick screen to the short side of the field. A little scary. I thought for a minute somebody got up underneath it and might have gone the other way.
Well, it's a pickup of 5, so a 5-yard completion to Moriarty. And set up third, make it third and about 3.
Pine Tree playing a lot of games up front.
Man in motion is Sullivan. Sullivan will roll around to the left side. Trap block, handoff. No, it's going to be keeper by Thurman. Thurman's going to keep it and take it right up the middle for the first down.
That is what's called a power, Kenny, where they block everybody down, they kick out with a running back or a guy that goes in motion, and then they turn that other running back up inside there.
Well, Thurman takes it from the 17 to around the 10, so it'll be a 7-yard pickup. And a first and goal right now, right at the 10-yard line. So, boy, jammed up as they've got about 8. And again, with the contact at the line of scrimmage, they're going to throw up the play. It's caught for a touchdown. They got the free play.
I told you that was a play.
There was plenty of contact, though, there, Alan. I was waiting for the whistle to blow. But a fantastic free play call as Marcus Field gets his first touchdown of the season on a perfect play call. And you mentioned it, too. Clint Thurman, they've got it worked out, but a great timing play. Marcus Field stayed with it.
Clint Thurman's timing is on a lot better now, almost 100% better than it was last week.
Well, Marcus Field gets the 10-yard touchdown reception on what we really thought was going to be a flag and a whistle blown, and they were going to negate the play, but they made the completion. Touchdown, Lindale Eagles. They are up 22-7, 6:50 to go in the first half. When we come back, Lindale Eagle football continues with OnTheCall.net.
The summer of 2022 has been tough on everyone, especially those that were without a top-performing HVAC system. Rose City Air was created by Will Decker and Heath Willingham after they experienced plenty of too little, too late scenarios. With 2 objectives in mind: service and educate consumers on the most efficient ways to maintain a healthy AC unit correctly the first time and eliminate the anxiety of second and third opinions and repairs. Rose City Air takes the time to show you the complexities of maintaining a top-notch HVAC system while the estimate and assessment is being done. Rose City Air's free estimates, 24-hour no-hassle emergency services, low-cost maintenance agreements, and discounts for veterans, first responders, and educators are why Rose City Air wants to service your home or business whenever the need arises. 903-630-4343 or go to rosecityairtx.com.
Well, you can't complain about the offense not moving the football this week, as they had trouble a week ago, but they seem to be back in sync. And Alan, you had mentioned it too, the fact that getting some timing down, and Marcus Field seems to be much more confident going after the football. Thurman is much more on target as well. Kickoff taken at the 5-yard line. Pine Tree falls down at the 15-yard line. Bless his heart, was trying to plant and come across the field. It's going to be Robinson again with the return, and had a lot of running room coming back near side and just slipped.
One of the things the coaches told me is the athleticism of Pine Tree, and that's always scary on a kickoff, because if you get a kid back there and they can get that ball and get an opening, they can go the distance.
Well, Pine Tree will come back out on the field, only their 3rd possession of this ball game. 6:46 to go first half. Lindale Eagles up 22-7. Kenny Smith, Coach Alan Phillips, Stuart Campion. Eagle Stadium tonight. Cloudy skies, but no rain right now. Handoff, first man through, right up the middle. And surging through the line of scrimmage. A fantastic run by the Pirates. We'll see who got that carry. And that may have been Davis, man, with the power this guy has been showing. With those darn legs of his, they run into the huddle real quick. And it will be Davis with the carry. It's nice to have a PA announcer sometimes that yells it out loud.
Is that Seth Baggett playing defensive back over there?
21? Well, if it's nope, that'll be Alex Romero.
Ah, there it is, 20.
All right. It was a gain of 7 for Davis, 2nd and 3. Skinner, hands off, Davis going right side, off tackle. Davis with another hard 3 yards. They're kind of pull him down right at the first down marker at the 25-yard line, and they'll move the chains. Well, Davis getting a little bit of a surge of power here in this running. So 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line, going right to left for the Pirates. Pirates next week will be on the road again, back-to-back road games for Pine Tree as they're headed to Kilgore. And Lindale headed to Van, so both these teams will be playing red teams next week. Game clock at 5:38. Skinner with dual receivers left. He's going to roll to the left. Stops. Pop going to throw it. Going to try to go deep. Got a man open. Caught. Received. Reception made at the 35-yard line. Moving the chains. Jonathan Fuller with a huge reception. They'll mark him down at the 34-yard line.
One of the things that hurt Lindale last week was they had some big plays against them, and there's another one that they were playing good defense, but all of a sudden Brett Maya had to go from the other side of the field to make that tackle.
41-yard reception to Fuller. Fuller, who was the recipient of that 70-yard touchdown pass a week ago. So this is a guy that can get deep. Fuller actually had to hold up and wait for that football to come down, too. 1st and 10, Pirates. Ball near hash. Robinson in the slot. He's going to get the flare out. Caught at the 35. Cuts up field 30. Bounces back outside 25. Down at the 23-yard line. And Alan, did we just see a double flop?
I think we did.
We just saw Robinson runs into Alex Romero, and they both flopped as if one of them knocked the other one down. That was the cheesiest thing I think I've ever seen. This is going to be great in the film session, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. That's always fun watching
This will be fun in the film session. They touched each other running back onto the field, and they both flopped. 4:31 to go. 1st and 10, though, on the first down reception to Fuller. Handoff straight up the middle. Boy, Davis is just running tough, and he will not be brought down. He is tackled inside the 20-yard line at the 16, maybe 17-yard. He picks up 6.
Well, Lindale's outside linebacker, which is probably the real linebacker, is moving up the field, which leaves a gap between him and the defensive end, or defensive tackle, as you want to call it. And so it leaves a big old gap for Davis to run.
Well, I do love the fact we've only seen 3 flags in the first half thus far. 3:55 to go first half. Lindale Eagles up 22-7, but Pine Tree, after the big play to Fuller, set up 2nd and 4 at the Lindale 17-yard line. Snap back to Skinner. Skinner will keep it this time. Coming near side. He got some running room outside of the 15 and out of bounds at the 12-yard line. Great open field tackle downfield by Christian Weidman.
That's one of the things Coach Roselle told me is that Skinner is going to make a read. That's a little read play for that quarterback. He needed to give out that. As he see that defensive end rushing in there, he pulls it, and they were scared of that type of run from him.
Well, Ryan Betts sprints off the field. Dual substitutions for the Lindale Eagles. Jalen Hines. Boy, what a great story I read about that kid last week about doing his work at the elementary school, too. Jalen Hines will be covering up on the far side. Dual receivers to the near side. Snap back. And now whistle blows well into this play as flag comes down on the near sideline. It'll be a procedure call. It was a direct snap coming right to Trey Brown, who may be their fastest athlete.
Yeah, that's a wildcat set where you have a running back at the quarterback spot. I'll tell you what happened is that the guard and the tackle on Pine Tree's left side took off too early.
Well, a setup. Skinner comes back on the football field, so they have a true quarterback on the football field. So they have a true quarterback back on the field. Trey Brown will stay in the backfield, though. Or excuse me, Jalen Robinson in the backfield to the right side. Dual receivers to the far right. And it's the wide side of the field. Fuller in motion now to the right. He stays up in the flats. They're going to go deep down into the corner of the end zone. Is it caught in the back of the end zone? They'll say, looking at the linesman, out of bounds. I'll tell you what, if that ball even caught, Alan? Because that was a tremendous catch if he even got his hands on it.
It looked like to me he did, but like I said, he was probably out of bounds. He had, didn't have his foot in. But yeah, their back was to us. It's hard for us to see it, but it was a great throw.
No, Skinner threw it on target and really left it out there where the only person that could get to the football was his receiver. So incomplete pass and gasp of air from the Lindale home contingent. And a packed house on senior night tonight. Band has made its way down onto the field. Halftime festivities about to start. 2:38 to go, though. Ball near hash. Skinner by himself. Hands off. First man through. Cuts up the middle to the 10, to the 5. Trying to reach for the end zone. Touchdown. Jalen Robinson again will take it over, this time from 17 yards out. He matches up his 19-yard touchdown run back early in the second period.
Well, again, Lindale playing some games up front trying to stop that running game. And sometimes when you play a few games, you leave big gaps in there. One thing is also they had a single receiver up top on the receiver, and I was worried about that.
Well, he set up for the extra point. As Aaron Bocanegra puts up the extra point, it's up and good. So they tack on 7 to their 7. 22-14 score right now. 2:31 to go first half. Lindale's ball when we come back. You're listening to Lindale Eagle Football with OnTheCall.net.
A showroom almost as big as a football field. Really? Office Barn in Tyler.
A ridiculous amount of inventory at Office Barn. New and gently used office furniture.
More desks than the Pentagon.
Any style of desk imaginable. Desk as low as $50.
Office chairs.
Over 1,000 chairs in stock of all kinds from $20 to $2,000.
Conference room tables.
Biggest selection of new and used conference tables we've had in a long time.
Low cubicle prices.
Really stylish cubicles and workstations with space planning, delivery, and install.
Office Barn in Tyler.
We ship anywhere with next day delivery in East Texas. Buy it in the box and save even more. Discounts for nonprofits, veterans, and first responders.
Between Tyler and Lindale on Highway 69. Across from the big American flag.
Call or text us. It's the same number, 903-881-0340.
Office Barn in Tyler.
Office Barn.
Thank you there to John Longcrier and Mason Terry, a couple of spectacular athletes in their day, and all you got to do is ask them, and they will tell you. They have some greatest hits. Squib kick by Pine Tree as it will bounce off of the leg of a Lindale Eagle, picking it up at the 15-yard line and returning it barely up to the 16, maybe the 17. Boy, that ball just took a scary, bad hop. And one that you do not. Well, Coulter Maya was receiving the kick back there, but boy, it just made a crazy bounce.
It's like a knuckleball, and as you try to get it, it just. That's the thing about football. You never know where that ball's going to bounce. It's not like a soccer ball. You know, a soccer ball's going to bounce straight back at you.
Well, you hope so anyway.
Well, when you're playing football, it's like a knuckleball.
Well, Eagle Stadium tonight, Kenny Smith alongside Coach Alan Phillips and Stuart Campion on our numbers. We'll give you that rundown at halftime as well. 2:26 to go first half. Lindale Eagles will try to mount a last-minute first-half drive here as they've got dual receivers split up on the top side, the short side of the field. High snap, going to throw it left. It's caught in the slot. Marcus Field bounces outside, got running room. Crossing the 30. Dives across the 30 up to the 31-yard line. Field picks up a quick 14 yards for first down Eagles.
I'm really impressed with how the passing game has gone so far for Lindale. They're really cashing in on the Clint Thurman is throwing some really good passes.
Alan, but everybody looks like they're much more confident this week, too, after a week of practice. Thurman, handoff. No, he fakes a handoff. Caught in the middle of the field. First down, Lindale inside. Pine Tree territory and a dart thrown. I think, wasn't Maya. Okay, who was the number? Was that 7? What's up with his jersey? Okay, we have no idea who caught that pass. It looks like number 7. But number 7 belongs to a player that's not on the field, or that's not playing. Is that Maya? That's going to be Maya with the catch, and Maya's got to come off the field. Brett Maya took his helmet off before he came off the field. So that was Brett Maya with the catch. The 14-yard reception goes to Brett Maya. Timeout is on the field. Is they're going to call... Okay, I'm going to say that possibility. Did Chris Cochran call a timeout, Alan? Okay. Because Brett Maya came off the field. He took his helmet off as he was coming off the field, so I'm not sure if they called an injury timeout or not.
Well, if he takes his helmet off, they have to call a timeout. Lindale does, I believe. But they might have called it. You know, you never know about the officials these days.
Maya's getting some attention on the sideline. He went and sat down, I think, to get stretched out. But Maya with a spectacular catch across the middle of the field. Brett playing both ways, you know, at least today anyway, tonight. But Maya gets his first reception of the year for 14 and a first down for the Eagles.
Yeah, and I tell you, in the very next play, it's his brother, isn't it, Coulter?
Yes.
He ran for about 6 yards, and they were hard runs because he got hit immediately after he got the ball, and then he worked for 6.
Well, Coulter, 11 carries, 81 yards. Brett Maya with that reception the last time for 14 yards. Really hard to say his name with reception. He's normally out there as a defensive back. 2nd and 4 after the 6-yard run. They give him 5, actually. Thurman, straight drop back. Got plenty of room to run. Now a bounce outside. Tucks it. 40, 35. Going to run out of bounds at the 35-yard line with 1:35 on the clock.
Again, the Country are bringing some linebackers on some X stunts. And I really thought that Clint Thurman's going to have a little trouble, but he's showed his athleticism on that and went around a defender.
Well, I'm telling you, Thurman just has a deceptive type of running style.
You know, I told you last week that they were going to tell him that if you're open out there, run with it. That's
Sure.
what he did.
Handoff, Maya, ball's on the ground. Oh, my. Looks like Pine Tree has pounced on it. Thurman handed it to Coulter Maya, and he never got the handle. Maya will cough it up. It just fell right out of his arms, right in front of him, and the Pine Tree Pirates will fall on it. Oh, my. Costly fumble for the Eagles here as they were driving with some momentum with 1:29 to go.
And that wasn't a read or anything. It's just like they were not on the same page, and Maya didn't know he was getting the ball, or Thurman thought he was getting the ball.
Well, it did look like both of them thought somebody else was going to be responsible for the football. Well, Thurman with a fumble last week, and now Maya with a fumble this week. 1:29 to go. Pine Tree with the football back, trailing 22-14. Handoff Davis going far side. Davis is loose. Midfield, 45-40. Open field tackle downfield by safety Brett Maya.
That's the second play.
Wow.
That's the second play, Kenny, where Pine Tree brings a guy that split out on the right. He brings him across to the left side. Lindale adjusts their defense. When they do that, it leaves a little gap to the right for that running back.
Well, a huge swing in momentum here with 1:09 to go. Davis with the carry. And a huge one. Clock down to a minute to go. 1st and 10, Pine Tree. Straight drop back. Skinner going to throw it in the slot to Fuller. Missed tackle. He breaks the tackle. Breaks another one at the 30. 25 to the 20. Will string down at around the 19-yard line. But, boy, give him credit. This guy broke 3 tackles. Fuller with the completion. He takes it from the 33 down to the 20-yard line. So a 13-yard reception to Jonathan Fuller.
You know, Hudson LeGros, I know he's sitting there going, God, I had him for a loss.
Yep. And, boy, especially when you just get your jersey. Well, timeout is – looks like Jason Bachman's going to call his first timeout of the night. 40 seconds to go. We'll take one here as well. Listening to Lindale Eagle Football with OnTheCall.net.
You know that old saying that a man's number one job is to protect his family? Well, that's exactly what my dad had in mind when he founded Beeler Roofing in the late 1970s. Well, now it's 2022, and it's still the backbone of why Beeler Roofing continues to take care of families and businesses' new roofs, full roof replacements, and even simple roof repairs. We still welcome a good old personal phone call to set up a free roof assessment. And we take a lot of pride and enjoyment from making our customers feel better about being home. Plus, we can even help you navigate the insurance process. This is Brooks Beeler, Lindale Class 1989, and very proud to support your Lindale Eagles again this year. Find us on the web at BeelerRoofing.com or call us at 903-347-8484. Beeler Roofing, our family protecting your family from the top down for over 40 years.
.46 left on the clock. Pine Tree back on the field quickly. Throwing to the end zone. To the stripe. Caught and dropped. Right at the goal line. Great defensive play in the backfield. Back there, and I think it's going to be Christian Weidman. Boy, got all the way into the wide receiver's hands and just pulled that ball loose.
Well, you know, those defensive backs are taught when that ball comes in and stripped down. That's what Weidman did and pulled that ball right out of his hand.
Well, the fumble really took the wind out of the sails of the Lindale offense. But the defense trying to at least keep Pine Tree out of the end zone here to end the first half. 33 ticks to go. Out of the huddle, ball near hash mark. Skinner hands off. Davis coming near side 20. 15 cuts inside 10-yard line. Busted down right at the 9. Make it the 8-yard line. So it was not Davis. Once again, Jalen Robinson this time.
Ryan Stanton had to come in there to make that tackle.
Well, timeout on the field here as we take one as well. 26 seconds to go in the first half. Pine Tree continues to drive on a Jason Bachman timeout when we come back.
Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment is going all in with the 2022 Lindale Eagles. Safety first is not only common sense when it comes to your transportation, it should be the top priority anytime it comes to the overall protection of your family. Safety checks on your basic brake and tire conditions or need for maintenance on your AC system is paramount during the heat of a 2022 summer. Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment puts the entire family name behind making sure you stay stress-free on the road year-round. You'll find tire replacements for all size tires, even lawn mowers. Lift kits and auto accessories are installed right there, and in some cases, while you wait. Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment, Highway 69, 4 miles south of I-20 in Tyler. AlfordsBrakeandAlignment.com.
Thank you, Michael Gibson, a classic rock 96.1 legend and also a former Lindale Eagle, former Lindale graduate. I think he's still a pup, though. He graduated 8 years ago or something. 26 ticks on the clock. Pine Tree continuing to drive. Lindale defense trying to stiffen up here at the 8-yard line. It is first and goal from the 8 for the Pine Tree Pirates. 26 seconds to go. And Bachman with one timeout remaining. Skinner with Robinson in the backfield. Skinner's going to throw the end zone. Back shoulder throw. Is it caught? Ball is stripped. It's on the ground. Incomplete pass. Another fantastic play by the defensive backfield. And this time I think Michael Shannon, I'm looking at maybe 14 coming off here. See who broke it up. Michael Shannon breaking it up. That's twice they have pulled the football out of a would-be receiver's hands to stop a touchdown.
I thought there might be a chance to have that one picked off because it looked like Hudson LeGros was going that way and might have had a chance to pull it down.
Well, you know, that whole thing about playing both ways, Alan, has really seems to be working out this week for this Lindale High School football team. 19 seconds to go. Skinner with the snap, looking right, going to throw right in the flats. He has got catch at the 12, but the receiver fell down just trying to make the catch. Dean McMillan is going to make the catch. McMillan with the grab, but that's going to be for a loss of about 5 yards. And Jason Bachman will take his final timeout of the first half. Well, though momentum shifts, Alan, you can put a stop to any momentum shift if you do what the Eagles are doing right now, which is just play hard defense, keep them out of the end zone, and even if they attempt a field goal, it's still a win-win.
Yeah, so one of the things that I know the coaches for Lindale have got to be happy with, 2 times there have been a big play fixing to happen on those passes, and they've knocked both of those passes down. And this shows how good a team and how well coached that Lindale is that a lot of times with defensive backs, they just think they're supposed to go out there and knock them down.
Sure.
They've gone up and stripped the ball away from those guys after they've almost caught it. And that just shows how well they're coached.
Not only changed the play, they made the play, they changed the play as well.
Yes.
Turned it into not only just a defensive play, but you also saved your team 6 points right there.
Yes, because it was going to be 6 twice.
Well, Lindale Eagles, their first home game of the season. Senior night activities came in pregame. They're on the road next week, obviously, against the Van Vandals, we mentioned before. The other home games this season, and that will be the difference in the last few years for the Eagles, is they have back-to-back home games scheduled against the Gilmer Buckeyes coming up on the 16th of September. They'll follow that here against Henderson. Pine Tree back on the field. 3rd and goal from the 13. Skinner drops back, straight drop back, throws it across the middle, incomplete. Off the fingertips of Jonathan Fuller, and that time that ball should have been caught, Alan. That ball went right through Jonathan Fuller's hands.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, big number 99 Christian King was bearing down on the quarterback. Could have pulled off a little bit because of the pressure.
Well, it is the one thing we have not seen yet, and I think everybody is pretty much looking forward to it, is the first sack.
Well, again, this is a new defense, and it's new types of fits for them and lineups.
Well, they're going to send in holder Amari Gary, who's going to hold it at the 19-yard line. It's a 29-yard field goal attempt by Aaron Bosanegra. Snap is high, gets the handle down. Spot is down, kick is up, and it's good. We'll credit that kick to Amari Gary, who did a spectacular job getting that football down so Bosanegra could make it. So the three-pointer is good with 4 ticks to go on the clock when we come back. Timeout on the field. as Lindale will get it back one more time when we come back. Lindale Eagle football continues with onthecall.net.
If you're looking to advance and improve your baseball or softball skills and overall game with the hopes of moving on to the next level, Marucci Elite East Texas is the premier select organization to do just that. Hi folks, I'm Derek Kraft, current minor league pitcher for the New York Yankees and coach for Marucci Elite. Head coaches Mike Holichuk and Jeff Casey take over 35 years of coaching experience to the field each year, showcasing East Texas's finest baseball and softball talent. Marucci Elite East Texas has proven itself to be the best at directly focusing on player development and the recruitment of its athletes. You can follow them anytime and learn more about Marucci Elite East Texas through Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at METXETX. That's METXETX for Marucci Elite East Texas.
Well, Bocanegra, a great job at not only keeping concentration on that kick, but getting it through. So they pick up the field goal, and kickoff is coming down and taken at the 3-yard line. So Coulter Maya will bring it back the other way and gets popped right at the 17-yard line. And the clock will run out, only 4 ticks to go. And that will be it for the first half. Lindale Eagles leading 22-17 at the half. We'll come back. We'll look over some numbers real quick, and we'll run down a scoring rundown as well when we come back. Lindale Eagle football continues with onthecall.net.
You come for the food and you stay for the experience. Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, a mile off Interstate 20 on FM 849 in Lindale. Come hungry because the barbecue portions are generous and the atmosphere is the best in East Texas, including live music on the stage in Hackberry Hall. Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House combines great barbecue, craft beers, signature cocktails, and live music for a one-of-a-kind experience. Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, 15338 FM 849 in Lindale, and on the web at brisketlovetx.com.
Backing the Lindale Football Eagles now as he did back then. Eagle Chiropractic is owned and operated by former Lindale Eagles center, Dr. Shane Allen. A class of 1989 graduate, Dr. Allen is an expert in chiropractic and nutritional health counseling. His expertise in these areas assists him in helping patients reduce and even eliminate migraine headaches, neck pain, back pain, and joint pain of all levels, both acute and chronic. Eagle Chiropractic offers therapeutic exercises, nutritional supplements, and analgesic creams, along with educational consultations and follow-up to assure continued support and confidence in a healthy lifestyle that is pain-free. Eagle Chiropractic, Highway 69 in Lindale, open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Saturdays. Call for an appointment and consultation at 903-881-5172. Eagle Chiropractic, making people better every day.
If you're looking to advance and improve your baseball or softball skills and overall game with the hopes of moving on to the next level, Marucci Elite East Texas is the premier select organization to do just that. Hi folks, I'm Derek Kraft, current minor league pitcher for the New York Yankees and coach for Marucci Elite. Head coaches Mike Holichuk and Jeff Casey take over 35 years of coaching experience to the field each year, showcasing East Texas's finest baseball and softball talent. Marucci Elite East Texas has proven itself to be the best at directly focusing on player development and the recruitment of its athletes. You can follow them anytime and learn more about Marucci Elite East Texas through Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at METXETX. That's METXETX for Marucci Elite East Texas.
It's like moving from an old office into a brand new office. Trade up your current office furniture to brand new furniture from Office Barn in Tyler.
Office Barn buys new and used furniture by the truckloads.
We will also upgrade the look of your office by exchanging your current furniture for new digs.
Maximize your office space with our space planning services, including field measurement, design, and a 3D diagram. Office Barn can even reconfigure existing cubicles for office space.
More desks than the Pentagon, 1,000 plus chairs, conference room tables, lobby furniture, storage cabinets, cubicles.
I'm John Longcrier. We ship anywhere with next day delivery in East Texas. Buy it in the box and save even more. Discounts for nonprofits, veterans, and first responders. Plus, office moving done right the first time.
Between Lindale and Tyler on Highway 69, across from the big American flag.
You name it, OB stocks it.
Office Barn.
The summer of 2022 has been tough on everyone, especially those that were without a top-performing HVAC system. Rose City Air was created by Will Decker and Heath Willingham after they experienced plenty of too little, too late scenarios. with two objectives in mind: service and educate consumers on the most efficient ways to maintain a healthy AC unit correctly the first time and eliminate the anxiety of second and third opinions and repairs. Rose City Air takes the time to show you the complexities of maintaining a top-notch HVAC system while the estimate and assessment is being done. Rose City Air's free estimates, 24-hour no-hassle emergency services, low-cost maintenance agreements, and discounts for veterans, first responders, and educators are why Rose City Air wants to service your home or business whenever the need arises. 903-630-4343 or go to rosecityairtx.com.
You know that old saying that a man's number one job is to protect his family? Well, that's exactly what my dad had in mind when he founded Beeler Roofing in the late 1970s. Well, now it's 2022 and it's still the backbone of why Beeler Roofing continues to take care of families and businesses' new roofs, full roof replacements, and even simple roof repairs. We still welcome a good old personal phone call to set up a free roof assessment, and we take a lot of pride and enjoyment from making our customers feel better about being home. Plus, we can even help you navigate the insurance process. This is Brooks Beeler, Lindale class 1989, and very proud to support your Lindale Eagles again this year. Find us on the web at BeelerRoofing.com or call us at 903-347-8484. Beeler Roofing, our family protecting your family from the top down for over 40 years.
Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment is going all in with the 2022 Lindale Eagles. Safety first is not only common sense when it comes to your transportation, it should be the top priority anytime it comes to the overall protection of your family. Safety checks on your basic brake and tire conditions or need for maintenance on your AC system is paramount during the heat of a 2022 summer. Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment puts the entire family name behind making sure you stay stress-free on the road year-round. You'll find tire replacements for all size tires, even lawnmowers. Lift kits and auto accessories are installed right there. And in some cases, while you wait, Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment, Highway 69, 4 miles south of I-20 in Tyler. AlfordsBrakeandAlignment.com.
Hey, Doc Deason here, Lindale class of 1990 with Real Edge Real Estate in Tyler. You can find me online at DocDeasonRealEstate.com. You know, after this summer, anything associated with fall is going to be welcome throughout the season, especially Lindale High School football. It's an honor for me to again partner with my friend of 30 years, your play-by-play man, Kenny Smith. There's nothing in this country quite like Texas high school football, and you need to know we're partaking in a legendary pastime right now. But when the game's over, if you need some help with real estate, give me a shout. Don't hesitate. 903-262-8680. That's 262-8680. Again, I'm fellow Eagle Doc Deason. Thanks for listening.
Back at Eagle Stadium, Kenny Smith alongside Coach Alan Phillips and Stuart Campion standing by to throw some numbers at us here briefly. The band is on the field with the Pine Tree Pirates, and it is a fantastic. They're all wearing different colored T-shirts tonight. They're not wearing your traditional band uniforms. Everybody is pretty much dressed down tonight, and it's fantastic. They're in formation right now on the field. And the Lindale Eagle band also wearing light blue T-shirts tonight. It's kind of cool. Everybody's kind of dressed down tonight. 22-17 lead right now for the Lindale Eagles. It's been a Coulter Maya first quarter anyway, as Coulter a couple of touchdown runs, one from 4 yards out at the 5:05 mark, and then he turned around and followed that up after a muffed kick return by the Pine Tree Pirates. He took it in from 7 yards out. It was quickly a 15-0 lead for the Eagles going into the second period. Pine Tree scored immediately after the second period got underway on a Jalen Robinson 19-yard run. Extra point was good by Bocanegra, and it was 15-7. They turned right around and got the football back late in the second quarter. This was following a Marcus Field 10-yard reception on a free play that Thurman and Fields worked to perfection in the back far side of the east end zone. That made the score 22-14 after the touchdown run by Jalen Robinson with 2:31 to go, the 17-yard run then. And, of course, the drive that stopped, Lindale Eagles were working their way down the field with about 2.5 minutes to go before a Coulter Maya and a Clint Thurman mishap. It just looked like both of them thought each one was going to run the play differently. And fumble came right out of the hands of Coulter Maya, and Pine Tree recovered at the 22-yard line. They since ran down, took off down the field, made a couple of big plays, but had to settle for a 29-yard field goal by Aaron Bocanegra. So let's look at the numbers real quick. We got about 22-17 Lindale as me and Alan and Stuart are getting ready to hit the buffet here in just a second. But Stuart, obviously it started out really rather entertaining for all of us. The fact that Coulter Maya was having such a great first quarter. Let's kind of look at the Lindale numbers first and find out what they're doing.
Yeah, Colton Meyer did a fantastic job early on here. He's got 81 yards with 11 carries. He's averaging 7.3 yards per carry, which is good anywhere. So that's pretty cool. Clinton Thurman, 58 yards on 8 carries. And he's done quite well as passing as well. He's got 59 yards for the first half with a TD. So receiving, we actually have had 6 different receivers, which is pretty good. Let's say the biggest one is Marcus Fields, has 33 yards in the air. And then Colton Meyer has 16 yards for the total yards that he's received. Going over to Pine Tree. Pine Tree's got a little bit different there. They've run the ball 12 times and they passed 14 times. So theirs is pretty much, how would I say it? It's
even back and forth, rushing passes?
Yes, it is. While Lindale had 10 passes and 21 rushes. So we have Skinner, his last 6 passes, he's only completed 2 of them for a total of 5 yards, but he's averaging 5.5 for the entire game. Davis now, while he's been running, he's actually got 82 yards, and he's averaging 13.6 yards a carry. So that's actually, I would say it's only those 2 guys are the ones that are actually carrying the ball for Pine Tree. Cal Skinner, he's thrown the ball 14 times, and he has 77 yards. So they actually have only 3 guys that have caught the ball today. Jonathan Fuller, 63 yards on 5 catches. And then we have Devontae Davis. He's only caught the ball 3 times, but he has 20 yards.
Big guy, too. Jalen Robinson, their biggest running back. Jalen Robinson is making a name for himself tonight as well, as he's been running the ball pretty darn hard. He's got a couple of TDs to match up with Coulter Maya's 2 touchdowns in the first half as well. We're going to take a timeout here as the bands are on the field. They're entertaining at halftime. Senior night at Eagle Stadium in Lindale. We will return. You're listening to Lindale Eagle Football with OnTheCall.net.
It's halftime of tonight's game broadcast. Tonight's Lindale Eagle game broadcast is brought to you by Alford's Tire, Rose City Air, Root Construction, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Marucci Elite East Texas, Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate, Beeler Roofing, The Office Barn, and Eagle Chiropractic. The second half will kick off after the short timeout. It's halftime of tonight's game broadcast. Tonight's Lindale Eagle game broadcast is brought to you by Alford's Tire, Rose City Air, Root Construction, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Marucci Elite East Texas, Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate, Beeler Roofing, The Office Barn, and Eagle Chiropractic. The second half will kick off after the short timeout. It's halftime of tonight's game broadcast. Tonight's Lindale Eagle game broadcast is brought to you by Alford's Tire, Rose City Air, Root Construction, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Marucci Elite East Texas, Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate, Beeler Roofing, The Office Barn, and Eagle Chiropractic. The second half will kick off after the short timeout. It's halftime of tonight's game broadcast. Tonight's Lindale Eagle game broadcast is brought to you by Alford's Tire, Rose City Air, Root Construction, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Marucci Elite East Texas, Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate, Beeler Roofing, The Office Barn, and Eagle Chiropractic. The second half will kick off after the short timeout. It's halftime of tonight's game broadcast. Tonight's Lindale Eagle game broadcast is brought to you by Alford's Tire, Rose City Air, Root Construction, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Marucci Elite East Texas, Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate, Beeler Roofing, The Office Barn, and Eagle Chiropractic. The second half will kick off after the short timeout. It's halftime of tonight's game broadcast. Tonight's Lindale Eagle game broadcast is brought to you by Alford's Tire, Rose City Air, Root Construction, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Marucci Elite East Texas, Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate, Beeler Roofing, The Office Barn, and Eagle Chiropractic. The second half will kick off after the short timeout. It's halftime of tonight's game broadcast. Tonight's Lindale Eagle game broadcast is brought to you by Alford's Tire, Rose City Air, Root Construction, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Marucci Elite East Texas, Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate, Beeler Roofing, The Office Barn, and Eagle Chiropractic. The second half will kick off after the short timeout. It's halftime of tonight's game broadcast. Tonight's Lindale Eagle game broadcast is brought to you by Alford's Tire, Rose City Air, Root Construction, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Marucci Elite East Texas, Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate, Beeler Roofing, The Office Barn, and Eagle Chiropractic. The second half will kick off after the short timeout. It's halftime of tonight's game broadcast. Tonight's Lindale Eagle game broadcast is brought to you by Alford's Tire, Rose City Air, Root Construction, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Marucci Elite East Texas, Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate, Beeler Roofing, The Office Barn, and Eagle Chiropractic. The second half will kick off after the short timeout.
Seal your pen for a second, Kenny. Oh, that's good. And I just got a $20 card, too. A gift card.
It's halftime of tonight's game broadcast. Tonight's Lindale Eagle game broadcast is brought to you by Alford's Tire, Rose City Air, Root Construction, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Marucci Elite East Texas, Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate, Beeler Roofing, The Office Barn, and Eagle Chiropractic. The second half will kick off after the short timeout.
Thank you there, Don Jones. Back at Eagle Stadium, both teams are back on the football field. The Pine Tree Pirates put their big old blow-up helmet back up. I don't think the Eagles did their blow-up tunnel on the coming out at the second half. But 22-17, Lindale Eagles. Kenny Smith, Coach Alan Phillips, Stuart Campion. There was so many things that went right for the Eagles this first half, Alan, and both of us agree, obviously, and Stuart concurs that the timing, the crispness of the passing game. Clint Thurman, Marcus Fields, a great completion of Brett Maya, who's got glue-like hands anyway, but just the confidence that these guys seem to have this from 1 week to the next was phenomenal.
Completely different team, if you ask me, as far as offensively. Very confident, and I'll tell you, Kenny, except for the fumble, we didn't see any miscues, and they're probably on their way to score then also. Once again, that's one of those shifts in momentum that you don't like to see. But I will say this, Pine Tree's got a lot of athletes. They're very athletic.
Yeah. Well, looking at what's going on for the next week, both of these teams will be on the road, and for some reason Pine Tree, Lindale with back-to-back home games, I had mentioned to you earlier, against Gilmer and Henderson here after next week's game at Van. Lindale will be home for 2 straight weeks, taking on the Buckeyes on the 16th and the Henderson Lions the week after that on the 23rd before heading to Athens. Now we'll be at Athens, at Chapel Hill, and then finishing up the regular season against Jacksonville at Jacksonville. Now from a broadcaster standpoint, we love being on the road. We love traveling. We like being at home because we've got a spectacular first-class and first-rate press facility. We'll be outside at Van, we'll be outside at Athens, and then back outside at Chapel Hill. And it's always fun, though. Being on the top of a visitor's press box at Chapel Hill, honestly, is a fun way to call a game because we got a big table, a canopy, we got power. We can eat our steak sandwiches up there without a problem. You can see the whole field. It's kind of cool.
Was it like last week when we were sitting in the stands?
No.
Okay, cool.
No, it's nothing like last week at Kaufman. So
I told my good buddy, I said, yeah, we sat in the stands. He goes, y'all called a game from the stands?
With a lot of yeah, literally from the stands.
With a lot of fans walking in front of you on a continuous basis.
Yes, leaning on the table, asking Stuart for spaghetti cookies.
I had a lady sit on my foot.
It was a little fun. Pine Tree will kick off to start the second half. Lindale Eagles back into the end zone. Coulter Maya will kneel it down now, about 5 yards deep in the end zone. Brett Maya will make sure he does not bring it out, and Lindale Eagles will start up 1st and 10 from their own 25, going left to right. Gorgeous night, man. It has been incredibly mild all night long. We had a possible threat of rain earlier, and matter of fact, Doc Deason had called earlier this afternoon, actually late this morning, and gave me a heads up and said, listen, you might want to be prepared for possible lightning delays tonight. And anybody that has been going to high school football knows that it's the worst thing in the history of the world is to be in a lightning delay at a football stadium, because they will have to vacate the entire stadium, pull the players out the field. You have to wait 30 minutes, so a little crazy. 1st and 10 Eagles. Left to right, ball far hash. Thurman hands off straight up the middle as Coulter Maya breaks it back outside to the 30 and crossing the 30 up to the 31-yard line. And much like he started the first half, Allen, another strong, quick, easy run up 6 yards for a 2nd and 4.
You know, when teams go in to the dressing room at halftime, they make a lot of adjustments and so forth. Pine Tree ran linebackers that time, which made a hole, which I thought they would get away from.
Maya goes in motion, sits up in the flats, gets the pass from Thurman, and the yellow jerseys are all over Maya, but Maya will be the recipient, and hopefully he's okay, of a face mask call. And Maya is up, moving his neck around back and forth, and boy, he got a major face mask on that play, and they're going to be talking to him from the sideline also. Continues to move his neck back and forth. But they're going to call a major.
Yeah, it's a 15-yarder.
It'll be a 15-yard mark-off against Pine Tree early in this first half. So the Eagles will start up much like they did the first half. Pine Tree a 5-yard mark-off on their first play from scrimmage in the first half. Lindale will be the pick up 15 on that play. Sullivan in motion, right to left. Handoff Maya straight up the middle. Maya with hard yardage and then gets popped hard on the way down.
That was
Earl Williams.
Yeah, Earl Williams came in and knocked some snot.
Wow. Well, Will Hutchins got in a little bit of a scrap downfield also, as Hutch moved his man down about 8 yards downfield and drove him into the ground for a takedown.
You know, you love to see that with those offensive linemen.
Well, just the fact they have their own stat sheet now is just entertaining enough. 2nd and 7 from the 49-yard line. Handoff Maya. No, Thurman's going to keep it. What a great choice. Thurman spins outside in. 45 gets driven out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Thurman with a great choice there as Maya got popped as soon as Thurman pulled the ball out of his gut.
Pine Tree brought a linebacker, and he was going right for the running back. And so, like you said, Thurman pulled that ball, and there was nobody there.
Well, he picks up 6, 3rd and 1 from the 45-yard line. Ball near hash mark. Wide receiver Moriarty split out wide to the right by himself. 3 receivers left, 1 in motion is Sullivan. Stops to the left side. Keeper from Thurman. Plenty of blue jerseys in front of him. 40, 35, 30. Cuts back inside the field of play. Up inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. Allen, there can't be a lot of substitute for a quarterback that doesn't want to run out of bounds.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you what, Landon Sullivan for Lindale was downfield blocking one of the receivers, and you love to see that as a coach and even as an ex-coach, seeing those receivers blocking down the field.
Well, this football team, the culture here is that the receivers have to be great blockers as well. Sullivan stays in the block, handoff to Maya. Coulter Maya, big yardage across the 20 up to the 15-yard line. Eagles continue to move the football much like the first half, and back-to-back right on the first down marker. And they're going to go ahead and stretch the strings. No, they're going to keep it and tell them to move the chains.
Ryder Dennis made the tackle for Pine Tree, but he's one of those that got drove back about 5 or 6 yards for ever made the tackle.
We'll set up 1st and 10 now from the 16-yard line. Ball closest to the Lindale sideline, near side. Quad receivers stacked side by side, split out wide to the right side. Now they will slot back and form a diamond. Thurman fakes the throw, takes it across the middle of the field and gets popped at around the 13-yard line and finally pulled down. They're going to give him forward progress to the 12-yard line, but it didn't look like a busted play, Alan. It looked like a design, but I couldn't tell looking over here at the receivers.
No, it was a design play. It was a design draw. They pulled them all over there to get somebody out of the back, the defensive linebackers out to cover. He ran in the back with somebody, Ramon Flournoy. Made the tackle. Flournoy.
Ryan Betts now is in as a slot receiver. He is listed as a DB wide receiver as well, 5'9", 160-pound junior. Betts in the slot to the right side. Thurman keeps it again, goes left, and then goes back right, and only picks up about a yard. I tell you what, the continuation blocks for the Lindale offensive line is crazy. Ethan Heller just drove his man all the way into the end zone.
Haven Huey for Pine Tree made that tackle, and he's the one that right before we went off the field, he knocked his own helmet off on somebody. So he's a really good defensive player.
Well, Thurman looked like he had plenty of blue jerseys to his left. He darted back to the right for only a yard gain. Snap back. Thurman going to throw it. Little corner route going to the end zone. Off the hands of Marcus Field and incomplete. Right across the goal line. Field had stopped his route right at the goal line. Thurman had thrown the ball a little out in front of him, and Field tried to reach back across his left shoulder to make that catch.
I really thought we were going to get an offsides on that play also, and that was one of those that design play that when Pine Tree jumps offsides, they're just going to throw it up out there. But
well, with 8:07 to go, Seth Baggett will come onto the field, and they will spot the football down. Clint Thurman will kneel down at the 18-yard line. It'll be a 28-yard field goal attempt for Seth Baggett. Snap down, hold down. Baggett's kick is up, and it's good. Baggett, from 28 yards out, extends the Lindale lead to 25-17. Lindale Eagle football continues on thecall.net.
If you're looking to advance and improve your baseball or softball skills and overall game with the hopes of moving on to the next level, Marucci Elite East Texas is the premier select organization to do just that. Hi folks, I'm Derek Kraft, current minor league pitcher for the New York Yankees and coach for Marucci Elite. Head coaches Mike Holochuk and Jeff Casey take over 35 years of coaching experience to the field each year, showcasing East Texas's finest baseball and softball talent. Marucci Elite East Texas has proven itself to be the best at directly focusing on player development and the recruitment of its athletes. You can follow them anytime and learn more about Marucci Elite East Texas through Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at METXETX. That's METXETX for Marucci Elite East Texas.
Every once in a while, you just got to try to work a Yankee into your football broadcast. It's almost like having an Aggie on the broadcast team. Right?
Wait a minute.
I tell you, a great story, too. When we come back, Seth Baggett will kick off. It hits at the 20, and it's touched and knocked out of bounds at the 17-yard line. And, boy, a bad decision there for running back Jalen Robinson, as that ball would have gone out of bounds around the 15 and moved it back up around the 35.
I think that's what he thought was going to happen, and all of a sudden it hit him in the hands.
Yeah, Robinson looked like he was trying to guard the sideline, and all of a sudden the ball bounced right back at him. So Pine Tree, Lindale gets another great break right there. As Pine Tree, instead of starting at their own 35, will start 1st and 10 from their own 17-yard line. So Lindale defense back on the field. And Wyatt Parker back in the safety position. They split out two receivers wide to the left. That's the short side of the field, though. Fuller is the wide out. Handoff Davis. Davis strings it out. Chasing him is Stanton. Stanton trips him up from behind. Ryan Stanton trailing the play, but not before Davis picks up 12 yards.
You know, I've got to keep an eye on that. I do not quite. That's about the 4th time that play has hurt Lindale. And I think it's pretty much that a linebacker goes outside a little bit too much, leaves a gap up inside there. But Stanton can't get there from his middle linebacker spot because of blockers.
1st and 10, Pirates, 7:36 to go, 3rd quarter. Lindale up 25-17. Get that out right. Skinner snap back. Ball is on the ground. Scrambling for it. Ball still loose. Blue jerseys all over the place. Yellow jerseys pouncing on top of it. Lindale says they have it. Where's the official? Referee says Lindale Eagle football.
Let me tell you a story, Kenny. You teach your defensive team that if there's a fumble on the ground, don't go for the ball. Hit the first guy right there, that quarterback. You hit that guy away from that ball. Let somebody else cover it up.
Well, I think Wyatt Parker was the one that came up with the football. So Wyatt gets a fumble recovery, and boy, that gets the Eagles back off of the turnover schneid as they gave up a fumble last week and this week as well. But Lindale gets their first turnover of the season on a fumble recovery. And the coaching staff, I'm not sure they're as mad at their players as they are the officials. It looked like Coach Bachman was yelling at everybody. And I know coaches don't like it when a defender comes in, instead of going for the ball, they clock their player on the ground.
No, they don't like it, but it's legal because it's a fumble. And
well, it's just rude, though.
Man, Alan, how many times have you been rude on a football field, dude?
It's just rude.
But I'm going to tell you, I watched a Lindale player do exactly what he was coached to do. I loved it.
Yeah. Well, of course you did. So turnover goes to the Lindale. No, they're not. They're going to give the ball back to. They're going to say that Pine Tree Pirates got the fumble. Well, they're going to reset everything here, and the Pirates have the football back.
What happened on that?
Wow. So 2nd down and 10 as it looks like Pine Tree recovered the ball. Skinner going to throw it quickly out to the right side. It's caught at the 28-yard line and lunging for the first down after the completion and getting the first down on the reception. I think it looks like 15. DeKalen Johnson. So Johnson with the reception. He will pick up 10 yards, and he had to lunge that last couple of yards.
Well, I'm telling you, they have everybody on one side, have one receiver, and they have Jalen Hines out there covering him. And you're getting the same thing this time. It's a one-on-one.
Skinner drops back, 6:47 to go, 1st and 10, Pine Tree. And a little squabble on the handoff is I don't think Davis knew he was supposed to get the football, so Skinner keeps it. He gets just back to the line of scrimmage, so no gain for Skinner.
That will show you how well Lindale is coached because, number one, Brett Maya was right there. He was right at his outside linebacker spot waiting to read that quarterback. And, in fact, I talked to Coach Rozier about that, and he said that, yeah, I'm going to have somebody on that quarterback every play.
Well, 2nd and 10, 6:11 to go. Pine Tree going right to left. Lindale defense thought they had the football back. Everybody else did too. Skinner, play fake, going to throw it quickly out to the sideline and short of the first down, complete up to the 38-yard line. It'll be an 8-yard completion again to number 15, DeKalen Johnson.
Well, they're putting Jalen Hines on an island out there, and he's having to cover, and that receiver looks quite a few inches taller than he is. So that's a lot of pressure on our defensive back because if he don't make a tackle on that guy goes the distance.
So DeKalen Johnson with a 9-yard completion down to the 39-yard line. Clock continues to roll, 5:33 to go. Pine Tree on the move after getting their own fumble back. Split out wide to the left is Jonathan Fuller. Manning up with Alex Romero. Man in motion coming left side, trips receivers to the left now. Inside handoff to Robinson. Robinson falls down, gets initial contact behind the line of scrimmage, and they say he fell right at the first down marker. They're going to give it to him.
You know, those are the same plays that he's been breaking off those long runs. And again, what they'll do is they'll bring the receiver on that side, bring him across, and makes Lindale adjust. And then he runs up in that crease when those linebackers move over. Lindale did a better job that time of staying at home, which means they made that adjustment at halftime.
That's good stuff, Alan. Jalen Robinson with the first down. Pine Tree gets their second first down here in the second half, matching up with the Lindale Eagles. 4:45 to go. Pine Tree on the move, ball far hash. They've got trips receivers near side. Skinner looking left, throwing left to Fuller. Caught it at the 38, breaks the tackle, 40, midfield, out of bounds at the 45-yard line. And hit a little bit late by Hudson LeGros, but
he didn't try to kill him, though. That's why they didn't do it. He pulled off. It's just his momentum got there.
So Fuller picks up another big carry.
First down and 10 for the Pirates.
Pine Tree started to throw that ball around, trying to get some little soft spots in the Lindale defense. One of the things they've done out there when Jalen Hines is on that receiver by himself, they've moved him up to get a little bit more pressure on him.
Well, they've gone short side to wide side on the last two pass completions. They've got dual receivers on the wide side. Fuller now going in motion to the far side of the field. Snap back. Skinner's got Fuller open, caught. 45, great open field tackle. Brett Maya comes in and stops that play right there.
Oh, that's a great play by him. Maya came up, and that's one of those things where that could go for a lot of yardage, but he basically got 1 yard out of it.
Okay, the front of Brett Maya's jersey looks like he's wearing number 7.
I know. I've been thinking the same thing.
It's like he has hit someone so hard it's dented his number. How do you do that? The back of his jersey, it looks like a 1. The front looks like a 7. Great tackle. 2nd and 9. Snap back to Skinner. Hands off Davis. Coming near side. Stumbles and then gets tackled inside. Ball's on the ground. A couple of players dove for the football.
Ryan Stanton did a great job from the middle linebacker of reading that and stepping up in the hole and making the tackle. In the past, he's been getting caught up in some traffic by those offensive linemen, but he found the crease in there to make that tackle.
Yeah, they're barely going to give Jalen Robinson a yard on that carry. Third quarter rolling along. Pass completions, a lot of runs inside the Ashes keeping the clock rolling. 3:23 to go. Lindale crowd on their feet. Right to left, ball in the middle of the field. Skinner looking for the snap. Straight drop back. Going to look right, look left. Now he's going to have to scramble. Getting a lot of pressure. Throws it down the middle of the field, incomplete. A lot of pressure that time from the defense of the Lindale Eagles, led by Ryan Stanton and Kason Watts.
That was made by the defensive secondary right there because he wanted to throw that ball out there. When he looked at, where he's been hitting that guy out in that to the right out there about 10 yards, and he was covered up. He had nowhere to go.
Well, that was one thing that really pumps up this home crowd, boys, when the defense starts to put pressure on the backfield, and they did so now to only push Pine Tree into their second punt of the afternoon.
Ryan Stanton has done a really good job this second half. He's been all over the field.
I just want him to get a sack. Snap back, punt is off, end over end kick, hits at the 20, at the 10, at the 5, and finally tried to be picked up in traffic. Brett Maya takes it at the 10 somehow. He picked up that football with a Pine Tree Pirate right in his lap at the 5-yard line.
I want to know if Coach Cochran's down there going, where do you? There's one of those things. Oh, that's a great job. Way to go.
About to lose the rest of his hair.
Look at me. It's happened many times.
Well, that time the ball was going at a pretty good clip. It probably could have made it into the end zone, but Maya decided to pick it up at the 5. But I'm not sure he even knew there was a Pirate 3 feet in front of him.
Oh, he's lucky he didn't get hit and fumble.
Somehow he got the ball into his mitts and ended up picking up positive yardage. 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Snap back, Thurman hands off. And this time Maya has nowhere to go because the Pine Tree defense is right there on top of him for no gain.
I'm telling you, Haven Huey is a good linebacker. He was right there in the hole to make that tackle for Pine Tree.
Well, the shifting in and out of players, defense and offense, and they are working quickly. 2:32 to go first, right that third quarter. Thurman sets a man in motion, gets him to snap, to get up, to jump off sides. He's got a free play. Flags come down, and boy, Thurman must have the hard count down tonight.
I'm telling you, he's done that about 3 or 4 times already.
Well, I'm just so used to them blowing the whistle dead. We heard no whistle that time, but plenty of contact on the interior line. And another 5-yard mark off against Pine Tree.
I think Pine Tree is gone to, and when he's out there on an island by himself, the defensive back, when that receiver tries to go outside, you teach those defensive backs, grab hold. That's a 15-yard penalty or 10-yard penalty. It's not going to be a touchdown.
Well, 5 flags for 35 yards against Pine Tree. Lindale Eagles have only drawn 1 flag. And that was in the second quarter for a procedure penalty. Hand off to Maya. Boy, Maya almost broke it loose. Stumbled across the 20-yard line and got all the way up to the 25. They're going to say his knee went down at the 23-yard line. So they'll only give him credit for about 3 yards.
I'm telling you what, Pine Tree is playing a lot of games up front. They took an outside linebacker and made him wide and ran him right at the running back, which messes up a lot of calls, okay, or a lot of reads for the quarterback.
I'm telling you, Brett Maya's jersey number is torn. There's something wrong with it. Kason Watts sets in at 1 tight end. Hand off to, it'll be a keeper this time, as Clint Thurman picks up minimal yardage, just barely getting it outside the 25. But he got enough for the first down. He only needed a couple, and he got about 2.5 up to the 27-yard line, 1st and 10 Eagles.
You get right behind them big old linemen and big old hogs and just grind it for that first down.
Well, Stuart and I talk about this all the time, about the fact that it's just crazy that we used to be in love with the Dallas Cowboys in pro football back when their offensive line was 260, 265. Biggest guy was 280. And now you won't find offensive linemen less than 310. Snap back to Thurman, rolls out to his left. Now he's getting in trouble. He's in traffic and gets ripped down from a side tackle, whipped down by a Pine Tree Pirate. And looking to see the number because he's dancing coming back on the field. That looks like it might be Devin Washington with the tackle.
Well, I tell you, they sprinted him out to his left side. And that's always tough for a quarterback because once he rolls out to the side, he's got to get his shoulders turned. Pine Tree did a great job of running that way and closing all of it down.
Well, Washington with the momentum just whipped Clint down like he was a wet rag. Puts a man in motion, fakes the pass. Thurman keeps it himself straight up the middle across the 30. Good yardage for Clint Thurman as he'll take it from the 24 to the 33-yard line. Make that a 9-yard run for Thurman.
See, what's happening here is that they motioned into a trip set or a quad set, which makes Pine Tree move a linebacker out of that spot. And then Thurman, what he does, he just makes a draw. He makes a fake pass and runs right up the middle.
Back to the line of scrimmage. Well, they've got an offset on the right side. A couple of linemen almost off the line of scrimmage. Handoff to Coulter Maya. Maya gets it to the 35, only picks up a yard. Now, Alan, why was that not a procedure penalty having both what looked like the tackle and the tight end that far off the line of scrimmage? We'll get to that point when we come back. Third period comes to a close. Fourth period is on its way. Coming up next, Lindale Eagle football continues with OnTheCall.net.
Backing the Lindale Football Eagles now as he did back then. Eagle Chiropractic is owned and operated by former Lindale Eagles center, Dr. Shane Allen. A class of 1989 graduate, Dr. Allen is an expert in chiropractic and nutritional health counseling. His expertise in these areas assist him in helping patients reduce and even eliminate migraine headaches, neck pain, back pain, and joint pain of all levels, both acute and chronic. Eagle Chiropractic offers therapeutic exercises, nutritional supplements, and analgesic creams, along with educational consultations and follow-up to assure continued support and confidence in a healthy lifestyle that is pain-free. Eagle Chiropractic, Highway 69 in Lindale, open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Saturdays. Call for an appointment and consultation at 903-881-5172. Eagle Chiropractic, making people better every day.
Back at Eagle Stadium, Kenny Smith, Coach Alan Phillips, and Stuart Campion as fourth down play coming up. And for the first time tonight, we're going to see a punt for the Lindale Eagles. Standing at his 22-yard line. And back to receive this kick will be Amari Gary. And waiting for the snap, fumbled with the snap, and Wyatt Parker finally gets off a kick and a great punt. Hits at the 28-yard line, will be blown dead at the 25. Boy, fumbling the snap and taking a minute and then getting that side kick to get end over end and still getting a good kick. That was a pretty darn good play by Wyatt Parker.
Well, they put Cade Hodda. They moved him up to be a deep snapper, and that's a tough spot to be in there to come in there, in this type of game, how tight it is. And the snap was perfect. It was just he mishandled it. I've never been a fan of that, what they call a rugby punt, and it always freaks me out.
Yeah.
I was a punter, and I was always be afraid I'd miss it if I was going to kick it like that.
Hey, if Joe Theismann can punt, anybody can try, okay? Anybody can attempt one. First and 10, Pine Tree going left to right. They're on the far hash mark with three receivers now, split out wide to the right side. Skinner wants a snap. Fakes the handoff, will throw it behind the intended receiver, and that time Skinner just threw it back behind Fuller, who was in what we call a hot route right across the middle of the field from that wide out position. Had both the slots, Allen, wheel out, almost doing wheel routes on the outside that time, left Fuller alone in the middle, and Skinner just missed him.
Yeah, he goes on a little slant route, and if he catches it, there's one of two things going to happen. There's going to be a little bit of he's going to gain a little yardage, or that safety's fixing to knock his head off.
25-17 is our score. Fourth quarter just underway at Eagle Stadium on senior night tonight. Lindale Eagles traveling to Van next week. Pine Tree at Kilgore. Second and 10 on the incompletion. Handoff, Davis going far side. And again, I tell you, Davis has got to change his cleats Jalen Robinson. This is about the third time we've seen Robinson or Davis slip down just trying to plant and make a cut.
I tell you what, I think Kason Watts tripped him. Either that or he scared him to death and he slipped off his feet. Because Kason Watts was right there coming to him, but he did fall.
Well, if that had been Jamin Jackson, I'd agree with he just scared him to death. Dual receivers wide to the right side. Kylan Johnson is wide out. Skinner going to load. He's got a lot of rushers. Gets the pass off to Davis. Davis gets caught from behind by Ryan Stan, but it takes Ryan about 10 yards before he can get his hands wrapped around him to make the tackle. Davis gets enough for the first down.
Well, that was a great call by Pine Tree. It's basically a draw. They let the defensive line go, and the defensive line all took across and enabled them to slip a receiver underneath there. Ryan Stanton was put in a little spot there, and like you said, it took him about 10 yards to get a hold of him.
Yeah, 13-yard reception to Davis. As Devonta Davis has come in almost in a reserve role here and had a pretty darn good performance here. 10:33 to go in this ball game. Pine Tree on the move. Handoff Davis right up the middle. Davis breaks an arm tackle back at the 35-yard line, and the Lindale defense will catch up with him right there, and that's where they'll drop it. Joe Richard missed a tackle back at the 35, just working his way around his blocker and just couldn't get a wrap up.
You know, one of the things that I thought last week, Lindale, as the fourth quarter came about, there was a few arm tackles, and he just couldn't get his arms around him there.
Well, Devonta Davis having a pretty darn good night. 8 carries, 99 yards already. He is the closest to 100 yards so far. 9:51 to go. Ball near hash, near sideline. Skinner by himself, looking deep. Going to throw deep across the backside of the field. Coming back and trying to make the catch. A little bit of contact at the 30-yard line, but no flags that time. I'm not sure Fuller was happy with his quarterback, seeing the ball, him having to wait so long to catch up with that football.
Well,
but Jalen Hines was in coverage.
Yeah, and he froze. He froze about 10 yards off the line of scrimmage, and that receiver ran right by him. And as you said, he was waiting on the ball.
Yeah, Fuller walks back to the huddle.
They've been picking on Jalen Hines a little bit, I'm telling you.
Yes, they have.
Well, when you got a receiver that's that much taller than him, it probably runs about a 4.4. It's tough to cover someone like that.
3rd and 7 from the 39-yard line. Lindale contingent up on their feet, banging their cowbells. Handoff to Robinson, trying to get outside. Cuts back inside. Lindale defense right there to pull him down.
Oh, great job by Christian King, number 99. He came from the opposite side, worked his way across the line to make the tackle.
Well, Christian King makes the play and is forcing Pine Tree to punt. Backing him up a couple of yards. I'll mark him down at the 37-yard line. Make it to 38. So a 4th and 7 play now. Pine Tree will drop back to punt once again.
Great defensive series there for Lindale.
We're going to see if Brett Maya can somehow get under this punt in the air. Punt is off, almost blocked. Maya says get away from it. It hits at the 30, rolls out of bounds at the 26-yard line. And boy, the special teams coaches and Chris Cochran are up off the sideline, are screaming good job. Defense, a lot of enthusiasm on this sideline. Alan, you mentioned it pregame too that you really enjoy watching and working with this coaching staff and the way that they really work out their enthusiasm on the sideline and just the way they coach all together.
Well, I haven't met all of them, but the ones I have met, I've never heard anything negative come out of their mouth, and Chris Cochran does a great job of leading those guys. That's one of the things I've noticed, that how good a leader he has been with them.
Well, it's showing right now as the culture here on the field. Boy, they love being enthusiastic about their football team. Thurman will put Sullivan in motion, stops behind the right tackle, or left tackle. Thurman keeper. Thurman picks up maybe 2, maybe 3 yards. We'll see where they'll mark him down. Last year, and Alan, obviously you didn't get to see this team a year ago, but last year Clint Thurman absolutely just got pounded. Every play, they ran him off tackle up the middle, and he got pummeled time after time after time again. And we're still seeing it in these first 2 ball games, and he just gets up and runs back to huddle.
Yeah, and they're using him as a running back right there, basically. It's a quarterback power where they just try to get him up inside the gaps.
Picks up 3, 2nd and 7. Handoff to Maya. No, he fakes the handoff. Going to throw downfield. Got a man open. It's caught and dropped. Great defensive play coming in at the last minute and knocking it out of the hands of Brett Maya. Defending on the play, Devin Washington came in late, made a great play, and unfortunately, Brett Maya comes jogging off the field, limping on that right leg.
That's one of those things that were going to be a good play for Lindale, or it could have been a catastrophe, because I thought for a minute he might pick that ball off, but luckily he just knocked it away.
8:18 to go in this ball game. 25-17 lead for the Lindale Eagles. 3rd and 7. They have not had 3rd and long since the first quarter. 2 receivers split off to the left side. Tight slot. Snap back. Thurman, play fake. Going to go up the sideline. Got a man open. Caught and then crushed at the 45-yard line. It's a completion. Is that Marcus Field on the other sideline? Or is it Ethan Moriarty?
I don't know, but he got the snot bubble knocked out of him.
It's one of those
9. In the NFL, they might have called that unsportsmanlike.
Absolutely. We're going to go 21 and 5 is 27. 27, 28. We'll go 28, Stuart. Handoff to Maya coming near side. He's got a little bit of blocking room. 40, 35. First down, Coulter Maya at the 32-yard line. 12-yard completion for a 12-yard run from Maya. Gives the Lindale Eagles another first down. Well, a long pass play complete, and then you get crushed. You make the catch.
Well, Lindale's hurrying up on their offense there, too. You know, you make that long catch like you said, and then your offense runs up the line and makes another big play. It just drills down that defense.
Absolutely. Moriarty with the fantastic play on the 29-yard catch. Thurman again with the keeper, just going to take it off, tackle left side across the 30. Bodies all over the place. They'll mark him down at the 28-yard line. So Lindale feeling a little bit of mustard here.
Well, one of the things they're doing with that, you got to realize, is they run Thurman with that ball like that up in there. They're running that time off that clock also.
Clint Thurman for 3, set up 2nd and 7 at the 28-yard line. Lindale Eagles, well, they've maintained some great momentum. The one fumble was just a broken play. Coulter Maya prancing it outside. Tried to go inside, went outside a couple of times and got across the 25, trying to get to the first down marker. He'll be a couple of yards short. He'll pick up an extra 5 and take it from the 28 to the 24, make it 4-yard gain for Coulter Maya.
Yeah, Seth McFarland made the tackle. Country really didn't make the tackle, got his arms on him. The first one to get a hold of him, then he had some other help.
Well, good ball game tonight, and some great improvements over the week of practice for the Lindale Eagles. And always great to see when you get a productive week and work on some things that you did not do well week 1 and things that you started to do very well week 2. Snap back, Thurman going to keep it off tackle, 20-yard line, ducks his head and bowls his way to the 15-yard line, 1st and 10, Lindale Eagles.
I'm going to tell you one of the things I found with Thurman. It's almost like there's times when he just says, you know, give me the ball.
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do it.
Just give it to me, and I'll take care of this. He takes the team on his shoulders. That's a sign of a good leader.
Well, they're taking their time to make the play call here. And after a while, I think, Allen, you have to go ahead and take your time. You've got control of the ball game, and you're keeping it on the ground. Hand off to Maya coming left side. Great block. Surges forward across the 10, inside the 10, close to the 6.
That big offensive liner is just blowing Pine Tree off the ball, just taking them about 7 yards back.
Maya for 10. Oh, they're going to give him 9. Good gracious. Looks like the linesman was running right down on the first down marker. They're going to give him 9, so it'll be 2nd and 1 from the 7-yard line. Boy, they are letting this clock roll. Maya and Thurman show. Here we go. Maya to the left side of Thurman. Snap back. Thurman will keep it this time. Takes it right up the middle. Crossing the 5. Inside the 5 to the 2. He tried. They're going to say no. He rolled over. A Pine Tree Pirate into the end zone. Touchdown.
Oh, what a run by him. I'll tell you what, that's a read. It's called a zone read. He can give it or he can keep it. He pulled it, ran up in the hole. And what the most amazing thing, like you said, he rolled over the Pine Tree defender to get into the end zone.
Well, I don't think anybody on the field knew it, except a couple of the Lindale players. They looked over and said, hang on, that's a touchdown, and they gave it to him. So Seth Baggett, the kid that came out of nowhere a year ago, kicking a game-winning field goal at the end of this game a year ago. Ball goes through the hands of Thurman, and it is wide open and down at the 30-yard line. So a botched extra point on a snap that went right through the hands of Clint Thurman. And the officials are going to try to huddle up at around the 3-yard line. We may see this replay.
Who snapped that ball? Kenny, did you see who snapped it?
I have no idea. I'm wondering if Hottie is the deep snapper on field goals and on extra points.
I don't see him in there.
Wow, I think offense is running back on the field.
Well, here's the deal.
Well, let's wait and see what the referee makes the call here, because
it was a penalty. It had to be a penalty against Pine Tree because it's half the distance to the goal line.
Well, they must have called an offside against Pine Tree then, because they're going to give the ball back to Lindale, and Thurman's going to come out. They're going to try for 2 now from the 1.5-yard line.
Well, they're going to take that big offensive line. Let's see if they mash them back.
Well, here we go. They're going for 2. 31-17 Eagles. Handoff Thurman. Thurman takes it, bowls his way across the end line and in for the 2-point conversion. That was a 2-point penalty play,
against the Pine Tree Pirates. So the Eagles with the touchdown and the two-point conversion, a 33-17 lead over Pine Tree. Now when we come back, Lindale Eagle football continues with OnTheCall.net.
You're listening to the Koi Sessions from Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House.
Hey, Coy, we're going to take our first pass of this.
Hey, this is Coy Malone. I'm going to play you a song. We're going to spin some wax, so just relax. We're going to smoke you some meat so you can eat down here at Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House in Lindale, Texas. Guys, we got a lot of great stuff going on down here, so come down and see us. A lot to see. Facebook, Instagram, check us out. Can't wait to see you. Come for the food. Stay for the experience.
Yeah, that was good, but we didn't record it. Sorry. Can you do it again?
Back at Eagle Stadium, Kenny Smith, Coach Alan Phillips, Stuart Campion. Stuart just informed us that Clint Thurman was 7 yards short of 100 yards rushing before the touchdown run. So Clint Thurman right now on the ground. Thurman with 19 carries for 100 yards. So Thurman with a pretty darn good afternoon and great evening here. 5:06 to go in the ball game. Lindale stretching their lead to 33-17. And Seth Baggett tees it up at the 40 and boots it. Going right to left. Ball comes down at the 5-yard line. Taken there at the 10 by Robinson. 15. He tries to stop and reverse his field, and his feet come out from under him. I don't know what cleats they're wearing tonight. They may be wearing the old-style grippers or something, Alan.
I don't know. I walked on that field, and I thought it was great. I was planting and running around out there. I'm a 60-year-old man.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, you certainly lied on your application to get this gig, didn't you?
You're nearly 62, buddy.
But I'm nearly 60, not 62.
This guy, he's like 80. Stuart's like 80. Stuart Little's like 80.
No, he's not, dude. He just turned 70. He can't be that close to 80, man. Good gracious. Boy, good night with the Lindale Eagles, as they have shown wonderful improvement from a week ago, and it's always just exciting to watch players and coaches alike. Handoff, first man through. And I'm telling you, there's got to be something with this turf, because the Pine Tree runners have got to have cleat problems, Alan, because we have not seen a Lindale Eagle slip down yet, and the Pine Tree running backs are just having a whale of a time trying to plant their feet.
Yeah, they're not getting the line of scrimmage there. Of course, number 99, Christian King, was right there on top of him, so he might have slipped trying to get down on the ground away from him.
Well, Davis will lose a yard on the play. 2nd and 11 now. Lone setback also. Davis dual receivers to the top side. Fuller wide left. They're looking Fuller's way. Skinner's got to scramble. He's got a little bit of running room, but the blue jerseys are squaring up on him. He runs out of bounds at the 20-yard line, maybe the 21. And, boy, he was hustling. Skinner kicked into an extra gear here, trying to pick up as much yardage as he could. He got all the way to the 21-yard line, so give him 8.
The Lindale coaches talked about how good an athlete he was, and that when he got out in the open, that he could run really well.
Well, he comes out in the near sideline on the Lindale home side. Eagles up 33-17, 4:20 to go. Pine Tree on the move. Skinner. Snap back to Davis. Davis gets pulled down in the backfield by Ryan Stanton. What a whale of a game number 10 is having tonight.
I'm telling you what, Stanton is having a great game. They put him in there at that middle linebacker spot, and he has done a great job stepping up into that linebacker. I'm telling you what, that Mike linebacker's got a lot of responsibility to go from side to side. He's done a really good job of doing it.
Well, they're getting penetration, Alan. Not only the penetration, but they're making the play right on the ball. So Ryan just looked like he came in untouched. 2 receivers split out wide to the right, the wide side of the field. Skinner looking right, going to throw a hot route across the middle of the field, and that's, well, the Lindale defense got away with an interference call right there. Oh, my. They're going to give credit to Michael Shannon for making a whale of a play. But, boy, Alan, we had a perfect view of
I think he
Shannon
with the
wraparound tackle at the 27-yard line. God bless his heart. He made such a spectacular play earlier in the game. And that time, boy, the line judge on the near sideline missed that one.
You know, sometimes where he is sitting, he can't see that very well.
Oh, my. Boy, Michael had him wrapped up right at the point of attack as the ball was approaching the intended receiver. Michael's on top of it. He may have got his left hand in and been able to get the ball with his left hand, but that right arm absolutely was wrapped around. So the fourth down play will go for naught, and Lindale will stop Pine Tree. It'll turn over on downs for the first time tonight for either team, and Lindale with a 1st and 10 from the Pine Tree 16-yard line. Handoff to Devin Fields. He'll get his 2nd carry of the night, and he gets it up to the 15-yard line. Give him 2 on the play.
Devin Daniels, the ball carrier.
Why not write Fields down, man?
Devin Daniels? Is that?
Yes, it's Devin Daniels. And I wrote down Fields.
You told me Daniels, man. I got it.
Yeah, well, Kenny doesn't even know how to write a name.
I wonder what grade he is.
Stuart actually corrected me on it before, and I still didn't change it.
Is Devin, is he a sophomore or a junior? What is he?
I think he's a sophomore.
Oh, my goodness. He's being woken up to the fast game of varsity football.
2-yard gain, 2nd and 8 now. Daniels alone set back behind Clint Thurman. Look for a lot of handoffs. Handoff to Daniels. Daniels starts off the right side this time, gets off tackle, and makes his way to the 10-yard line this time. Give him another 4 yards, maybe 5.
Ken, did you see your main player, Will Hutchins? He had that guy back in the end zone driving him back.
3rd down and 3 for the Eagles.
No, but I do enjoy watching it.
Well,
I know it's horrible.
He had him driven all the way back into the end zone. And I'm going to tell you what, as a defensive player, it's like you can't get away from those guys. And you're just like you're flailing away.
No, because you're afraid if you just let your legs go out from under you, they're going to fall on top of you and crush your.
Baby.
Yeah,
it's called pancake.
Okay. It's just awful the way they're treating them, though, when it happens like that. All right, flag down back in the backfield at the 20-yard line. And this may be a warning because the referee threw it way beyond the line of scrimmage. So that's probably what it's going to be. It'll be a warning this time, I'm guessing. They're going to wave off the flag, and the referee walked over to talk to Coach Jason Bachman. And that's normally what it is. It's just, hey, Coach, I'm going to be polite real quick. Will you just shut up and move back a couple of steps? Is that how it goes, Alan? Do they actually come over and tell you, Alan, Coach Phillips, will you shut up?
Yes. Well, they don't say shut up, because as a coach, you get really insulted
be quiet.
by that.
Yeah.
They'll say, like, Coach, you need to calm it down a little bit. I don't want to throw a flag on you. Calm it down.
Yeah. Well, Daniels behind, a couple steps behind Thurman. Thurman will hand off to Daniels. Daniels straight up the middle, across the 5, looking for the end zone, trying to get the pay dirt. And just shy. And again, driving his man all the way almost to the sideline is Will Hutchins. And I'm telling you, you want to go up. Cabralin Jackson got almost driven into the Lindale sideline. And you just want to walk up those guys, just pat them on the back and go, it's okay, man.
This guy's.
I know it's embarrassing, but.
I'm going to tell you, Devin Daniels for Lindale, he's got a little pep in his step.
Yes, he does.
He looks like he's got a little extra gear.
Well, Daniels worked his way all the way up to the 3-yard line, so it'll be 1st and goal from maybe the, we'll say about the 2. So 1st and goal, 2. They'll see if they'll hand it off to 24 here and let this young man get his touchdown. Hand off to Daniels, going far side. That time, yellow jersey. Does he get the touchdown? You got to be kidding me. Pine Tree Pirates came in behind him, grabbed his legs. He dove out of their grasp and into the end zone for the touchdown.
Three Pine Tree players had a hold of him, and he fought that in there. He's not real big either.
Well, boy, that is what you want to see from a young kid who gets an opportunity to play football at the varsity level at any time.
I bet you his heart races about.
Oh, my gosh. Well, Daniels will make the best of his time here right now.
They're all popping him on the head. And
Seth Baggett with a good snap. Baggett decides to kick it over the band. It's off in the woods. Touchdown extra point is good, and all of a sudden the Lindale Eagles, who were up 25-17, it seemed like about 2 minutes ago, 40-17 with 1:03 to go in this ball game. We come back. You're listening to Lindale Eagle Football with OnTheCall.net.
Hey, Doc Deason here, Lindale class of 1990 with Real Edge Real Estate in Tyler. You can find me online at DocDeasonRealEstate.com. After this summer, anything associated with fall is going to be welcome throughout the season, especially Lindale High School football. It's an honor for me to again partner with my friend of 30 years, your play-by-play man, Kenny Smith. There's nothing in this country quite like Texas high school football, and you need to know we're partaking in a legendary pastime right now. But when the game's over, if you need some help with real estate, give me a shout. Don't hesitate. 903-262-8680. That's 262-8680. Again, I'm fellow Eagle Doc Deason. Thanks for listening.
Back at Eagle Stadium, where the Lindale Eagles have decided to just explode here offensively in the second half, as they have scored 40 now on Pine Tree with 1:03 to go, 40-17. Seth Baggett will pooch kick it over to the right side and take it at the 24-yard line and straight up the sideline and trying to get extra yardage. Great return for Pine Tree up to the 40. Make that the 39-yard line. We'll try to grab a number. It's about 9 miles away from us. And maybe 13. That's a possibility. That's Ramon Flournoy.
Well, Ryan Stanton on that tackle, too, along with some other Eagles. But telling you, good game from Stanton tonight.
Stewart just reminded me that we were looking at numbers. Coulter Meyer right now, 22 carries, 150 yards on the ground. Boy, that snuck up on me. Less than a minute to go. Pine Tree with the football. Down by 23.
I bet you they're going to pick on number 23 over there.
Think they're going to try to go deep?
That's what I think.
The Lindale defense respecting the outsides on these receivers, giving them a little bit of running room. They'll hand off, and coming in immediately with the tackle. And quit bouncing around. We got 58. Thank goodness Brady Bowman gets his first action. 5'11", 215-pound senior, getting in this ball game late and making a play.
I think Joe Richard was over there in the middle of that also for Lindale.
Well, Skinner comes running off the field to get the play directly from Jason Bachman. And they are taking their time. He runs back into the huddle with 12 seconds to go on the play clock. They got to hustle.
Yeah,
they got to hurry. Play clock down to 5. Down to 2, down to 1, and they're going to get a delay of game call here. Clock went to zeros, they let him play. Pass is thrown, clock dropped, and that time getting hit on the play, Fuller gets popped.
Jalen Hines came up and hit him right as the ball hit his hands. Okay. I do not know how they did not, unless they just let it go because there's only 10 seconds going in the game.
Yeah, they must have. So they just allowed it.
Spectators are allowed on the field after the game. Thank you.
Well, it's going to be a 3rd and 12, but only 5 ticks. This will be the last play of the ball game. Pine Tree will break out of the huddle. Lindale will pick up their first win of the season now, moving their record to 1-1. Pine Tree will fall to 0-2. Getting the snap. Skinner will hand off to Davis. Davis going to break it outside. Gets a block outside, too. Midfield, 45. He gets tackled on the way out of bounds. And Davis gets tackled, I think, on the outside by Wyatt Parker, and that'll do it for the Lindale Eagles. They will take a 40-17 win on their home opener for 2022 and senior night behind a pair of touchdowns by Coulter Maya. Marcus Fields, Baggett, Thurman, Daniels, they all scored tonight. We'll look over the final numbers and go over a scoring update for you coming up next. Lindale Eagle football continues with OnTheCall.net.
You come for the food and you stay for the experience. Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, a mile off Interstate 20 on FM 849 in Lindale. Come hungry because the barbecue portions are generous and the atmosphere is the best in East Texas, including live music on the stage in Hackberry Hall. Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House combines great barbecue, craft beers, signature cocktails, and live music for a one-of-a-kind experience. Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, 15338 FM 849 in Lindale, and on the web at brisketlovetx.com.
Backing the Lindale Football Eagles now as he did back then. Eagle Chiropractic is owned and operated by former Lindale Eagles center, Dr. Shane Allen. A class of 1989 graduate, Dr. Allen is an expert in chiropractic and nutritional health counseling. His expertise in these areas assist him in helping patients reduce and even eliminate migraine headaches, neck pain, back pain, and joint pain of all levels, both acute and chronic. Eagle Chiropractic offers therapeutic exercises, nutritional supplements, and analgesic creams, along with educational consultations and follow-up to assure continued support and confidence in a healthy lifestyle that is pain-free. Eagle Chiropractic, Highway 69 in Lindale, open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Saturdays. Call for an appointment and consultation at 903-881-5172. Eagle Chiropractic, making people better every day.
If you're looking to advance and improve your baseball or softball skills and overall game with the hopes of moving on to the next level, Marucci Elite East Texas is the premier select organization to do just that. Hi folks, I'm Derek Kraft, current minor league pitcher for the New York Yankees and coach for Marucci Elite. Head coaches Mike Holichuk and Jeff Casey take over 35 years of coaching experience to the field each year, showcasing East Texas's finest baseball and softball talent. Marucci Elite East Texas has proven itself to be the best at directly focusing on player development and the recruitment of its athletes. You can follow them anytime and learn more about Marucci Elite East Texas through Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at METXETX. That's METXETX for Marucci Elite East Texas.
It's like moving from an old office into a brand new office. Trade up your current office furniture to brand new furniture from Office Barn in Tyler.
Office Barn buys new and used furniture by the truckloads.
We will also upgrade the look of your office by exchanging your current furniture for new digs.
Maximize your office space with our space planning services, including field measurement, design, and a 3D diagram. Office Barn can even reconfigure existing cubicles for office space.
More desks than the Pentagon. 1,000 plus chairs. Conference room tables, lobby furniture, storage cabinets, cubicles.
I'm John Longcrier. We ship anywhere with next day delivery in East Texas. Buy it in the box and save even more. Discounts for nonprofits, veterans, and first responders. Plus, office moving done right the first time.
Between Lindale and Tyler on Highway 69, across from the big American flag.
You name it, OB stocks it.
Office Barn.
The summer of 2022 has been tough on everyone, especially those that were without a top-performing HVAC system. Rose City Air was created by Will Decker and Heath Willingham after they experienced plenty of too little, too late scenarios, with two objectives in mind: service and educate consumers on the most efficient ways to maintain a healthy AC unit correctly the first time and eliminate the anxiety of second and third opinions and repairs. Rose City Air takes the time to show you the complexities of maintaining a top-notch HVAC system while the estimate and assessment is being done. Rose City Air's free estimates, 24-hour no-hassle emergency services, low-cost maintenance agreements, and discounts for veterans, first responders, and educators are why Rose City Air wants to service your home or business whenever the need arises. 903-630-4343 or go to rosecityairtx.com.
You know that old saying that a man's number one job is to protect his family? Well, that's exactly what my dad had in mind when he founded Beeler Roofing in the late 1970s. Well, now it's 2022 and it's still the backbone of why Beeler Roofing continues to take care of families and businesses' new roofs, full roof replacements, and even simple roof repairs. We still welcome a good old personal phone call to set up a free roof assessment, and we take a lot of pride and enjoyment from making our customers feel better about being home. Plus, we can even help you navigate the insurance process. This is Brooks Beeler, Lindale class 1989, and Lindale Eagles again this year. Find us on the web at BeelerRoofing.com or call us at 903-347-8484. Beeler Roofing, our family protecting your family from the top down for over 40 years.
Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment is going all in with the 2022 Lindale Eagles. Safety first is not only common sense when it comes to your transportation, it should be the top priority anytime it comes to the overall protection of your family. Safety checks on your basic brake and tire conditions or need for maintenance on your AC system is paramount during the heat of a 2022 summer. Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment puts the entire family name behind making sure you stay stress-free on the road year-round. You'll find tire replacements for all size tires, even lawn mowers. Lift kits and auto accessories are installed right there. And in some cases, while you wait, Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment, Highway 69, 4 miles south of I-20 in Tyler. AlfordsBrakeandAlignment.com.
Hey, Doc Deason here, Lindale class of 1990 with Real Edge Real Estate in Tyler. You can find me online at DocDeasonRealEstate.com. You know, after this summer, anything associated with fall is going to be welcome throughout the season, especially Lindale High School football. It's an honor for me to again partner with my friend of 30 years, your play-by-play man, Kenny Smith. There's nothing in this country quite like Texas high school football, and you need to know we're partaking in a legendary pastime right now. But when the game's over, if you need some help with real estate, give me a shout. Don't hesitate. 903-262-8680. That's 262-8680. Again, I'm fellow Eagle Doc Deason. Thanks for listening.
Back at Eagle Stadium, it is a big win for the Lindale Eagles tonight as they will finish up their home opener with a 40-17 offensive explosion, and much different than a week ago. And Alan, that's what we obviously first have to cover is the fact that, you know what, this really was, and you mentioned it before, this really was a whole different look and a whole, almost like you thought was a completely different team. But it had to start with Clint Thurman. He had to do something different on the field to lead this offense, man. He brought his A game tonight.
He became a different threat tonight. You know, after that first game, there was not a pass threat with Clint Thurman. He didn't have a very good game throwing the ball, but tonight he made quite a few throws that made him a dual threat quarterback, which is going to help them down the line. This is a complete different team, if you ask me, offensively and defensively, even with some players out being injured. So think how good they'll be when they get those guys back. So completely different team tonight.
Okay, what was the thing you were most pleased with? I like the fact that the offensive line really seemed a lot more cohesive. Last week we saw a lot of holes in that Kaufman game. That may have been a whole different defense, of course, but tonight it really seemed like the offensive line was the line that we all looked forward to seeing when the season started. I thought that was the difference in the game.
Yes, I think that I agree with you. I will also put on there that I thought their defense played a better game tonight, that they did a better job with their fits. You know, when you're talking about their defense, of course, Ryan Stanton, to me, had a great game. But I'm going to tell you something. Jalen Hines was put out there on that big receivers of theirs and did a great job, even though the guy was tired over him. It was probably a lot faster he was. But overall, I thought that their defense played better. But, again, has to be those big guys up front, which go along with those offensive linemen, too.
Absolutely. A couple of touchdown runs for Coulter Maya. Coulter ended up with over 150 yards rushing. Stuart, let's go ahead and work you in right now because that's where we can really start. Is Coulter Maya had a pretty darn good day starting. You and I thought he was going to get to 100 yards the first half. He ended up with a little over 150.
You're correct. He had 150 yards on 22 carries. He averaged 6.8 yards per carry. Excellent day for him. He also had those 2 TDs. Devin Daniels, total surprise. He was very productive. He had a TD and he had 5 carries for 19 yards. Clint Thurman, of course, you guys have already talked about him. Carried the ball 19 times for 102 yards and a TD. And then on the passing side, 87 yards. He was 10 for 14, which is a good day for any quarterback in high school. Marcus Fields, 3 catches for 33 yards, and Ethan Moriarty had 3 catches for 42 yards. So Lindale was pretty well-rounded. When it comes to Pine Tree, it's pretty much just a couple of ball players that really stood out, and that would be Jalen Robinson had 49 yards on 8 carries. He had 2 touchdowns, though, in the first half, so he did all his production early on. Cal Skinner, 2 carries for only 15 yards. So if you compare the quarterbacks, 118 yards in the air compared to Clint Thurman. He had 87 yards as well, but then he also had the yards on the ground. So I can't even come up with his name. Devontae Davis.
Yeah.
He was the biggie. 13 carries. He was their workhorse. 110 yards. He averaged 8.5 yards per carry. Quite good. Then we get the receivers. Jonathan Fuller, he had a busy day. 7 catches for 79 yards. Then we only had a couple of other ball players. Devontae Davis had 4 catches for 34. And it just seems that they were run over today.
Yep, and Jonathan Fuller, my gosh, he didn't get loose, but for that one long catch, Allen, so that was the one deep threat that they had bringing in the ball game. That was the only damage he did.
41 yards.
Yep.
Yes, and he could have done a lot more.
Well, coming up next week, it looks as though back on the road again is Pine Tree. Pine Tree will be headed to Kilgore to take on the Kilgore Bulldogs, and we will be on the road next week as well. And one of the most anticipated in the Tyler Morning Telegraph, one of the top games of the season. It's the must-watch and must-attend Week 3 game of the season, according to a lot of people in this area. Of course, you had Lufkin Marshall tonight. You had Tyler Legacy and Tyler High playing tonight also. It'll be Lindale Eagles traveling to Van to take on the Vandals next Friday night. That is where we will be, high atop Vandal Stadium stands. We'd love to see you. We already know that our good friend Dusty Swope will be joining us. I'm sure, Alan, there'll be a nice reunion with you guys.
I haven't seen Dusty in a long time.
Dusty's looking forward to it, man. He said, man, it's good to hear Coach Phillips back on the air and not just with a defensive headset and yelling at everybody. So
It'll be
throwing them and everything else.
Oh, yeah, it'll be a little bit different. Good night, everybody, and thank you so much for being a part of our broadcast tonight. Lindale Eagle football comes to you each and every Friday night right here at onthecall.net. For Stuart Campion and Coach Alan Phillips and all of our sponsors and the people that help us make all of this happen, God bless your hearts, and thank you for helping us with our broadcast as well all season long. Lindale Eagles 40, Pine Tree 17. Good night, everybody, from Eagle Stadium in Lindale.
Tonight's broadcast of Lindale Eagles football is brought to you by Rose City Air, Ironworks Web Design, Albert's Tire, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Root Construction, Eagle Chiropractic, Beeler Roofing, Marucci Elite East Texas, The Office Barn, and Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate. Copies of tonight's game broadcast at onthecall.net. And all 2022 season games can be purchased from onthecall.net at any time in the day after each game. OnTheCall.net and its supporters encourage all fans to make every opportunity to become involved in any child's education, enrichment, or any extracurricular activity they have a passion for. Thank you for joining us for Lindale Eagle Football with OnTheCall.net, streaming East Texas high school sports one game at a time.
Right, and I hate those.
Oh, God, so it's hard as hell to do it. Now, as soon as and we've been putting up electric fence for my dog so they can get out. Now, as soon as the fall gets here and those leaves are gone off there, I'll be able to cut all that stuff down pretty easy.
Yeah, but I was going to say, because that's what I was asking, how much property, because if you're using, I mean, you're in there just digging in, you would, if you had a standard yard, like you said, it's overgrown.
It's overgrown.
Yeah, so then you really don't know what's in there.
Oh, God.
Okay.
And I don't even know what poison ivy looks like.